want you to make some noise. It's time to get into the game. It's USC.
Two Graviton Surge is coming in. Mezzer picks up two. God's another one. Tailspin with one more. It's going to be Warthog frozen there.
Oh, we're going full America at this point. Rockus has the EMP again, so they got it back anyway. There it is, coming in, and Jake with the Dragon Blade. Looking for a bit more. They drop this up here. Nice for the flex on the Zelda. That does it.
The crowd here in this fully packed arena is the one that
Blossom when they drop down. There's an option. It's going to be dueling Coalescence is here. Comes Corey once more. Barrels through Mano. Knocks down the door.
Show some love for USA.
On the arm and now links to himself as well, and that's the stick. Let's throw Immortality Field to save you from that.
there you have it.
I think we know who the hometown crowd is cheering for, Zoe.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the OWWC Trials for Team USA. I'm Jake, and I'm joined by Reinforce, and I couldn't be more excited to get into this one, Johnny.
Yeah, it's so glad to be back. 3 months now with no Overwatch, besides, Face It, that's been taking place. But so happy to be back this year with Overwatch World Cup, OWCS. There's so much action taking place in this scene. And we're kicking it off with the Team USA Trials, Jake. Are you hyped?
Yeah, it's cool to, I mean, obviously for me personally, this is such an exciting project, but it's been really cool to see how this has gone way beyond just like the team itself. There's such a huge community effort behind Team USA Overwatch World Cup. Like there's a ton of opportunities there for people to get involved, and it's just been great to see like the whole community rallying around and putting something together. Of course, this is kind of where the rubber meets the road, though. Through these trials, the coaches are going to start to pick who are the final representatives going to be for the teams. And I mean, already to this point, we have some very strong contenders, but I think everyone's going to be really excited to see who that final team ends up being, who gets the honor of representing the USA at Overwatch World Cup.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, Jake. Most countries, they don't have like the fortunate nature of needing to like drill down with a bunch of talented players to weed out the perfect 5-6. Team USA, it just so happens you have 3 amazing flex support players, you have lots of damage players. And so going into this trials, it's actually going to be insanely competitive for a limited amount of slots on the team that is going to play throughout the year. So I can't wait to see how these trials are going to go and who are going to be the standout players.
Yeah, even the tank line could be competitive. I think this one, there's probably early favorites to represent, but a lot goes into not just like the raw strength of individual players, but what kind of team you want to form, right? You really have to be thinking differently about building a team for the World Cup, because it's not going to have that same level of practice and consideration that a professional team has. You kind of need to build a team that can have those adaptations on the fly and can make those adjustments. It's a slightly different skill set, I think, than just like the way that the professional game is played.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why we love the World Cup so much as well, because it feels like every year we see these countries come out with their lineups and they've picked up a team style, like an identity that suits their roster the most. Some teams, they just prefer playing the dive composition because they have a really good, Winston player, for example. Some people, they prefer playing the brawl comps. And so you really have to kind of tailor the identity around the roster available to you. And so when you have, 5 support players, like Team USA has here, trying out for these 2 spots, it takes some time, for Kasaurus to figure out, like, hey, like you said, what kind of identity do we want for Team USA going into this year? And obviously you want to be well-rounded, but, if you want to win the whole thing, you got to specialize on something as well.
Yeah, with all the conference cups to play, the qualifiers, it's kind of a long road to actually making it to the finals, to attempting to win a medal for your country. And so it's pretty hard to know going in things like the meta. I mean, that's almost a impossible conclusion, right? It's almost for certain that there will be huge changes between then and now. And so you kind of have to build that team to talk about what we were mentioning earlier, that has the adaptability to really go deep and to make that run kind of whatever you may face in that tournament, right? And I think it's an interesting point that Team USA in particular, along with a couple of the other national teams, tends to try to field a team that can do everything, where some of the other countries, I think they do kind of like go all in on like go gambling, like we are a Rhine team. If we high roll the Rhine meta, we're living good. Otherwise, you know what, it's chalked. So I think Team USA though has, on the flip side, is having such high expectations, right? If Team USA doesn't medal, you'd probably call that a failure for the level of players that are trying out for this team.
Yeah, I mean, last time in 2023, it finished like 8th place in the World Cup, which, is not what Team USA is all about. Yeah, I think everyone, clings on to that World Cup victory in 2019. Yeah, it was 2019, I think, with, Super at the helm there, of course. The San Francisco Shock Boys. And so I think it's, Team USA, they're aiming for a return to glory here. And now it's about picking out a roster that is able to compete with South Korea, Team China, Saudi Arabia, of course. And so who are the individuals that are going to stand out here in the tryouts as we get into it?
Yeah, so we're going to be opening with an iconic classic, Lijiang Tower. I mean, there's no other place we could have started. It just had to be Lijiang. This is the iconic day one, scrim one, no expectations, just classic, iconic Overwatch.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, a lot of these players, they actually played a lot of Lijiang Tower, going into the boot camp as well, because there was that mandatory rule in the OWCS boot camp that you had to play the 5 new heroes. And I spoke to a couple of the Team Liquid players, Rupal, Vega, and they essentially said that, like, hey, we just scrimmed this map the entire time and like we figured out the rollouts, and it was like we were just back in like a really older time of Overwatch where you specialize way more when it comes to the rollouts and how to play certain maps, right? And so these players, they really practice on Lijiang Tower as we go into it. But it deserves saying as well, Jake, that for the tryouts, there's going to be some other rules in place. Obviously, the coaches, they're going to set the rules when it comes to like what heroes you're able to play, what are the bans, stuff like that, right? To try and attempt to create a setup where you can really identify who are the best individuals across many different compositions. To not make it seem like, oh, this team is just going to win, when they play Tracer or whatever. Like, usually your Tracer player need to be able to do other stuff as well. And so they'll be trialing other stuff throughout the series just to see what these players can bring on other heroes.
Yeah, it's interesting because, to my knowledge, this is one of the first times I've seen like a trials event casted and put out on display for the public. But this is actually something that goes back, has a long history at Overwatch of, I was coaching, like often when we were trialing players, we would force certain comps, just like basically decide like this team's going to play this team's going to play that. We're going to fully control your team comps and just create scenarios for you to see how you react and what kind of situations that you're able to find yourself in. So I think the coaches are going to do a mix of that, whether it's like free play, a few bans, or truly forced compositions if they just want to see a certain style of play, especially if something that's out of meta, right, that you probably wouldn't be playing right now. There's real value in just saying, hey, like, how do you do on a comp that maybe you haven't played in a long time that you're trying to figure out on the fly? That's a test for players, right? And it provides valuable data for the coaches to help select, what's the best player gonna be. And honestly, I don't envy the coaches this year. Like, you could really make an argument for every player in the tryouts, and that's, I think they've done well with the tryout list. Like, everyone here is genuinely, I think, competitive for slots, and I wouldn't be completely shocked if there's an underdog or two relative to maybe public expectations that actually do make it into the final team. There's a lot to be said for the players that just want it the most and are hungriest for this opportunity. And while some of the old guard, you got to respect them, how the accomplishments they've been able to deliver, but a lot goes into just, your performance in the World Cup more than just your experience, just your longevity.
Yeah, I think you really have to account for how they're performing in the tryouts themselves, because these players are so well known and they have so many matches under their belt, so many VODs, we're so familiar with these players. You still have to really take into account how they're doing during the trials, because I mean, you gotta be fair to the players in a way. Like, hey, if you're having a really sick tryout and you're standing out in the scrims, like, obviously you deserve a spot, right? And so you can't just go on like the historic performances of some of these players. How did they do last year? Like, it's 2026 now. We're into March in 2026, which feels crazy. I don't know where the first 2 months of the year went, but like a lot of these players, they've been scrimming and they've been practicing in ranked and like really refining some of their skills, right? And so now, 2 months into the year, we kind of have to figure out like, okay, well, who is really grinded during the off season and who is standing out during these tryouts, and then give them some credit if they're really performing really well. And maybe that will change some of these perceptions, because already on Reddit, on Twitter, you're seeing some of these people like, hey, these are the people that should get picked.
People have their theory craft.
People have their theory craft.
I know exactly who's going to be on the team, and it's never that simple, to your point, right? Like, and I think there's real value to having a selection that just takes credit for people really wanting it. And it's also a moment of, I would say, probably some of the biggest change in Overwatch's history, maybe since 5v5, right? To drop so many heroes at once really shakes up the competitive scene. It's a big jump that honestly provides more opportunity for maybe players you wouldn't expect to make the final roster to actually get their shot if they've been the ones, grinding these new characters, finding their new role in the meta. And I mean, I think that's an exciting time for fans of USA Overwatch to be able to see, hey, there might be more surprises in store in the tryouts than we're expecting.
Yeah, but still, I think it's gonna come down to who's the best Lucio Kiri. But of course, you gotta take into account the Euros as well. I mean, we gotta see some Jetpack Cat.
I think Jetpack Cat is a crazy hero. Like, I think that character, unless they do some wild nerfs, this character is going to be very competitively relevant because some of the combos you can pull off are completely unique in terms of what they provide in the game. Now we're going to load in. No hero bans, by the way, on Lijiang Tower. So this is both teams full free play, deciding what they want to run. Oh my God, who's using streamer name? Oh, Hawk. Okay, thanks, Hawk. Really appreciate that.
You gotta be careful. It could have been Painkiller, like, who knows?
Hawk versus Coluge in the tank line. Team Liberty's gonna have Tree and Sugarfree versus Kronik and Zeruhh on Team Freedom. And Ultraviolet and Lukemino versus Rupal and Vega. I kind of like this as an opener. Like, I think the two of the top off tanks really for consideration here. Not that that's such a meaningful distinction anymore, but I wouldn't be shocked to see, you know, like one off tank, one main tank specialist in the roster. And then you have, I would say, arguably the two favorites on Team Freedom in the support line, Rupal and Vega, with the previous tenure together, and Tree and Sugarfree. I think a pretty iconic DPS line there for Team Liberty.
Yeah, and you saw Kasoris in the chat as well. He said free to swap comps. And so we're going to see some maps where you're not able to swap the comps because the coaches want to hone in on specific heroes. But in this case, like, you probably just want to hear the comps, like how proactive are they with hero swaps if need be, right? Because that's a skill in of itself. Like, what are you swaps going to be? As Rupal early pick up the Sugarfree there, rolling out on this Metro.
That's a nice one. They go for the sim comp, which is a classic here, taking back point for Team Liberty, but Team Freedom is immediately pouncing right now. Zeruhh stepping up, big damage now on the Vendetta, pushing forward, and they're just, I mean, Lukemino does get a boop off on Hawk. That's a pretty massive find here, but the damage is just too much. Vendetta holding these corners around the back of the point. Symmetra already down at the start. Team Freedom with a quick cleanup.
Yeah, without Sugarfree, Team Freedom just like stormed the point, no space at all for Liberty there. And Zeruhh been playing some of this Vendetta for Team Liquid at the OWCS bootcamp as well. Obviously, really strong hero in ranked. We know plenty of you are really frustrated now. But seeing a couple of nerfs, Sugarfree going to TP to the point here. We'll see with Zeruhh where it comes from on this Vendetta.
They got to make the hold. The point's flipping right now. Tree has found one. Sugarfree finds another. This time, Team Freedom struggling on the recontest. Team Liberty taking great point position, finding the kills quickly, and another very back and forth fight. Team Liberty retake control of the point and Freedom on the reset. See if there's any swaps they want to make to deal with this sim comp on the reset. I wouldn't be shocked if they keep running this. Vendetta certainly has some value into this comp. Team Liberty showing, hey, they might lose the first fight, but they still have some fight left in them.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a slow rotation there from Freedom, actually, because they allowed Liberty to get onto the point, which is expected with the Symmetra, but there was just no kind of like momentum whatsoever to get into the face of them. And now instead you're seeing Freedom over this slow approach here, trying to build a couple of these ultimates, both Lucio's at 80% so far. Zeruhh, perhaps setting up for a bit of a dive here, but forced to spend some of his abilities. It's going to be really slow pace for Freedom here. They just want to get these ultimates up first.
I mean, there's so much pressure on Kronik right now, but he's just not really getting any opportunities. A lot of pressure on him every time that he peaks. Trey on this Emre really shooting back and making this awkward. And he's trying to pop OC and just goes down. No opportunity. Hawk, though, still boosting in, finding that instant kill onto Sugarfree, keeping this fight still in the contest. Both beats come out virtually even across the board. Tree over the top here, see if he can bring enough damage to find these kills. Team Liberty lacking a bit of vertical mobility in the comp. Tree is going to take full advantage of that. Rupaldo teleporting away, but into his death at the hands of Lukemino. Trade's coming in, and yeah, OC, maybe it's going to be enough, but no, Coluge just overwhelms him. Hawk self-destruct in the corner, but Coluge just going to disrespect that. Keep putting that pressure on. The point's now in control for Liberty and has been ticking up this whole time. Hawk's going to get brutally delayed, and honestly, this could be the round if the delay is bad enough.
Yeah, 80%. They should be able to get back in time, but lots of valuable ultimates expended in that fight. In a 4 versus 5 scenario, really can't blame Team Freedom for investing in that one because the death was so unfortunate from Kronik. But now, how do you get back here? Zeruhh has the Vendetta ult. Able to flank out here on this high ground, perhaps. Looking for it, but gotta touch the point is Hawk.
Yeah, they're just getting absolutely choked out right now. Team Freedom, though, Hawk has made the move. The point is going to get that overtime contest. Team Liberty now falling back. They're going to sink in for an extended fight. Nice wall blocking up the middle, allowing room for rotation. But Zeruhh, with the overhead strike there, finding the first hill. Coluge strikes back. Team Freedom relatively low, and Team Liberty playing off these sim turrets, getting incredible value. Sugarfree absolutely carrying this fight in the middle of the point. Lukemino, though, does go down without any supports. Team Liberty, it's just the DPS in the tank, but just not enough left for Team Freedom to keep this contest going.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a last-ditch effort there for Freedom as Hawk came in with the point touch, but Liberty in full control there after really only one big fight when all those ultimates came out, and Liberty looking pretty good so far. Freedom can see they can generate any kind of momentum here as we head on over to the next Lijiang Tower round. Taking a look at the stats so far, Lukemino 10-2 on the Lucio. We value those eliminations so very much here.
Yeah, some great fights from Team Liberty on the retake. I think the comp selection there was great. I mean, the sim is just so powerful historically on that map, giving you the ability to make those quick retakes. Also got to give credit to Tree, just firing on the Emirate from the back point, right? Kronik just couldn't get anything going on the Sojourn. I don't really blame him. I think that's a really rough spot to be on Sojourn. I mean, you're just not going to get any opportunities. You're more or less shooting a ram shield all game long. But maybe the comp selection, bit of a weakness for Team Freedom there, is more or less the team's continuing to run this. Liberty even going to keep the sim on Gardens.
Yeah, let's see what Sugarfree can do here on the Symmetra against Hawk's Diva. Obviously really powerful on Night Market already. But it's getting close and personal. You can see Hawk losing a lot of armor actually, forced to retreat on towards the point. And this is Liberty now with all of this space on towards the point. How does Freedom try to reclaim this as the point is about to unlock?
Hawk stepping up here, does it for a booster through, but Team Liberty playing around Coluge in the shield. Onto the back point now. Freedom getting their opportunity. Zeruhh into the back line, contesting Lukemino, but the heals are good from UV to keep him up. Now Team Liberty getting some pressure on the point. Big kill from Zeruhh. That opens things up wide now. Opportunity for Freedom to win this fight. They may have lost the point control, but Kronik in the back line now, delivering the damage. Rail connects. It's good on the kill for Lukemino. Rupal finds Sugarfree. And although Team Liberty grabbed the flip, it's going to be short-lived here, Reinforce.
Yeah, it is indeed. It's a nice frag coming in from Zeruhh there as they stay alive enough. They kite. Gain the angles necessary to come in for a bit of a pincer there and secure the first frag onto Tree. Has been popping off so far on the Emre, of course. After a bit of a damage buff to the numbers of Emre, it's been a hero that I think we've seen more playtime out of. Win rate definitely going up in ranked as well. So Tree looking really good on this new addition to the Overwatch roster.
Hawk back in the soup, but just a second too late here. Liberty already through the choke point, so Team Freedom on their heels for the moment. Still, does Team Liberty move towards the point? Vega finds the boop off onto Tree. Impact from the Lucios here. Zeruhh just playing for the stall. Relatively low resource here. Hawk finds the kill onto Sugarfree, and I think that stall from Zeruhh is going to be more than enough. Vega with a second knockoff of the team fight. Supports, as you're mentioning, Johnny, getting it done in this one.
Absolutely, and Team Freedom with 5 ultimates now. 42% and counting, so it's a bit roles reversed here on this second round of Lijiang Tower, where Freedom has really asserted themselves as a dominant team so far. Liberty, though, they still obviously have Symmetra and this ultimate online. So if they want to go for a bit of a TP play here, set up onto towards the point, make space difficult for Freedom, they can. Here comes the overclock from Kronik, actually. Early engage from Freedom.
Yeah, tempo. OC, great turnaround from UV, though, to shut down Zeruhh. Kronik trades under Sugarfree, but still 2-1. DPS down now for Team Freedom. Hawk might want to stick onto this point, and Rupal commits the rush as well, assisting this Diva. Coluge recommits as well with the Fist of Fury here. See if he can bully them back off the point, and Team Freedom will oblige. But getting a nice 2-for-1 trade, so good read from Rupal to find that one. The beat comes in, a last-second delay, so Team Freedom playing for the 99 here, exchanging beats. Team Freedom still with a chance in this, although they have lost point control. Tree forced up off the ultimate as well. See if it's going to be enough to hold on to this. Hawk pressuring him, but on such low HP, seems like Tree is going to get the best of that duel. The Baby Diva, oh wait, the
Susu!
Maybe just good enough, and it is Rupal. What a save. Although the fight far from over, Team Liberty dropping Sugarfree into this one. Team Freedom now have more to say about this, and as Coluge goes down, I think this will be an extended retake. So great recommits. You got to give credit to Rupal and Vega surviving through an incredibly long fight to clutch this one back out. And now for Team Liberty, desperation recontest, Sugarfree on the Tracer, Coluge to the Diva, but this is a brutal map for these last-second retouches. See if Sugarfree can grab the OT.
Yeah, and Zeruhh has a pulse here as well. Kiri Diva in the mix, so it's hard to get a pick. But Rupal, wow, pick on the Sugarfree here, and now it's going to be even more difficult to juggle the point here for Liberty as they try to keep this point going. Coluge loses the mech, and surely should be that as Freedom secure their first point here onto Lijiang Tower, tying things up. Let's head into the third round.
I think both teams, based on their preferred composition that we've seen so far, makes sense. They've won their respected maps. Now, Johnny, as we go into Control Center, I mean, what do you expect? I feel this feels like this should favor a sim, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, Sugarfree has looked pretty comfortable on it already. We know he got coached playing that Symmetra last year already, so Maybe over the offseason has continued to build on that and made it a staple hero. We saw last year, I mean, there was so much Symmetra play in EMEA that maybe at this point, North America, they feel like, hey, we gotta learn how to play the Symmetra, right? If we're gonna have a chance whatsoever. So Sugarfree definitely looked good on the Symmetra so far, but
Gator in the chat.
Gator's showing up.
Showing face. All right, an alumnus.
Wow, what a throwback, Gator.
Coluge is going to step over to the Zarya. Zarya Vendetta, a potent combo. A lot of aggression can come out from this. But Hawk could have something to say about there on Ramattra. See what Sugarfree can get done with some of these bubbles from Coluge. Going to swarm in, diving forward. Big connection. The crit on the Lucio boops him in as well. But
Great
the follow-up damage is not there. And so Team Freedom stabilizing through the initial engage. Second bubble comes over to Sugarfree, but he has to just fall back from this. And it's actually Zeruhh who finds first blood onto Tree. And ends up trading his life out, but the rest of the team on the chase down here. They're going to find maybe no more kills, but at least a point control.
Yeah, and now it's a bit of a reverse from what we saw in Night Market, where Freedom, they're playing the Ramattra in this case. And so you got that Ram Shield in front of you, Tree having a tough time making something happen on Emre. As Sugarfree went in with the Zarya bubble and didn't really get a lot done. Let's see if they can go for a second one here, as one bubble is committed from Coluge already. Kronik looking for a shot here.
Dodges the bubble. Bubble gets no value there from Team Liberty. Team Freedom happy to run the clock with this Ramattra comp playing around the shield. Second bubble deployed. Nice headshot from Kronik. It's going to slow Coluge down, deny any kind of momentum play. Steps up onto the high ground. Zero's into the backline. He is traded out by Sugarfree, but this might be a kill onto Coluge. Hawk diving forward to secure that one. Team Liberty so low across the board. And Team Freedom brawling on the outside. Seems that they got the better of that trade. Not quite enough to break open the hold. So great work from Team Freedom here. Zeruhh does die for that, but he finds the right tempo. The rest of the team trusts the play, and they end up clutching.
Yeah, the dives haven't really been working out for Liberty so far. Now we're looking at our first ultimate fight here, as already Freedom with 50% and counting. Both teams here looking to build these Kitsune rushes. Rupal takes a hit, goes early. Overclock here from Kronik. See what he can do.
Such a powerful ultimate.
Nice shot.
Yeah, Tree just gets bursted down there, and the Zarya just has nothing to say into this ultimate, right? No ability to defend teammates from these rails. And one kill may not be flashy, but it's enough to run the clock here.
Yeah, 100%. And Freedom, you know, they continue to hold fairly close here. Hawk, this Annihilation could be pretty scary as well. Having to push past this as Kitsune Rush comes out from Ultraviolet.
Yeah, beat as well. Better Russian beat from Team Freedom, but massive damage from Tree. Insane DPS inside that Kitsune Rush. Hawk just gets bursted down inside the grab. Annihilation means nothing. Tree steps up to the plate, and he's eating good. 4 kills for the superstar in the fight, and a 5th too.
I mean, the Override protocol deals so much damage. You see in those narrow corridors, not a lot of places to hide for Freedom there, as a lot of ultimates come out on either side here. 91% for Freedom here, but without any ultimates, how do you really look for this retake? See if Zeruhh maybe can cook up something here.
A little bit of a trade on the outside is nice. Vendetta super low. Bubble from Coluge providing a big advantage. Another crit from Sugarfree, who once again connects on to Lucio, the supports. Doing incredibly well to keep each other up. It was a bit of off sync though from the rest of the team. I understand Sugarfree just so close to those kills, but the support wasn't there. And now Team Freedom looking for another flip. Team Liberty wants to just play this one slow, go for the last second hold. They do not want to fight this one without their Vendetta.
Yeah, they need to get Sugarfree back with this ultimate as well. But Zeruhh, he's going to be close to his as well. So Freedom here, they want to hold this close corner, support Hawk all they can. As overtime kicks in.
Overtime has to continue contesting. Zeruhh with the ultimate does find Tree, shuts him down. Hawk incredibly low on Ramattra, needs a ton of care from the supports, can't quite get it in time. And Coluge with high energy should be able to clean this one up. Supports behind him. Desperation move trying to take down the Zarya. You have to stop her reign of terror, and it just cannot get it done. So Team Liberty, great heads up read there. The initial aggression from Sugarfree doesn't work out, but they really ride the momentum well to stay alive in this Lijiang.
Yeah, 100%. Great momentum them there from pushing on to the point. And now Kronik coming up on the overclock here. One fight away from winning is Team Freedom here, as Rupal's already at this Kitsune Rush, slightly ahead of Ultraviolet. Could be a short window here. I don't know if they even know that they have this short window, but Team Liberty looks like they're going to be able to build up this Graviton Surge, this Kitsune Rush as well, as Coluge finds another crucial pick onto Rupal. And now this is one fight territory after all this waiting is done.
Yeah, these aggressions, they've been starting to pay off. On defense, the Zarya feels a lot more powerful. Kronik in a very awkward spot here, getting hunted down by Coluge. The double slide, though, gets him out of trouble. Beautiful moves back to the supports. There's some pressure now on the point from Zeruhh. The rush deployed, a defensive grab from Coluge. It catches people on the inside of the wall, but the beat is good to protect them. And Team Freedom capitalizing here on some mistakes. Beautiful slides from Kronik. He almost baits that aggression onto himself. And the chase down ends up costing Team Liberty the round.
Yeah, and very unfortunate there for Lukemino. 99% on the sound barrier. So close to hitting that, but it seemed like a bit of like mixed kind of like feelings there. Are we going to engage with this Graviton Surge? They were so close to building up that sound barrier, and they had Override Protocol available as well, did Tree. So that's a tough spot for Liberty to be in. They're so close to having the ultimates to match Team Freedom, but at the end of the day, it's going to be Team Freedom in a very close, even Lijiang Tower to kick us off here. Some good showings from either side, but those crucial couple mistakes in the end there is going to cost Liberty.
Yeah, very close match for sure. And I know maybe longtime esports fans are going to be expecting, like a full series, but of course it's not how tryouts work. So we'll see a ton of player swaps. We've got obviously too many players in the tryout to even run everyone in a single scrim. So we're going to see a ton of player swaps. So don't worry too much about Team Liberty and Team Freedom. Just having a bit of fun on this one, getting the players a little bit more personality, at least to root for, or at least for us as casters, something to actually say instead of Team 1 and Team 2.
Yeah, and I believe in this next one, we're going to see Ultraviolet and Infekted come in from map 2. I'm not sure for
you mean
who yet.
Landon, maybe? Because UV was in this map.
Right. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Landon was supposed to start out, but instead Ultraviolet started out. So, this is what a tryout is. You're just shifting players back in and forth. But yes, we're going to see some subs heading into this one. And then I think it's literally just... they're going to swap them throughout the series. So they're not going to be stuck teams. Like, there's going to be change going into every single map here to just mix and match and see what the best chemistry is. Who's getting the best voice comms online, and obviously who's popping off mechanically in these games as well. Any standout players from you in that very first map, Jake?
I think Rupal really impressed me with a lot of those individual pickoffs. On the Kiriko and then clutching out on some of those fights. I thought that was some really well executed support gameplay on the Kiri, and I think people sometimes talk about Rupal as if he's an Ana player and it's like, he needs the Ana meta, but I think for him to just kind of show out there on Kiri is obviously, it doesn't surprise me, but it's a good reminder to some of the haters out there that he can absolutely pilot some of these top meta heroes at an incredible level. Yeah,
I mean, haters is a bit tough, but you are playing or trying out alongside Ultraviolet and Landon, who literally was in the Olympics Grand Final, right? Who is extremely good on the Kiriko. And we're seeing the Kiriko get banned, actually. So we're preparing for cases where Lucio Kiriko is not the meta.
I like this. And I think Numbani too is a pretty odd map, right? It's pretty unique. I think it introduces some more of these like hard defensive set holds that the attackers need to find their way into to break. And I mean, both of these are interesting tests for a team. For UV and Landon, though, I think this actually is a map that kind of suits their strengths. I think of them both as extremely strong aimers on the Baptiste, which could see some play, if that's the direction they want to go, especially on the defense. I feel like there's something to be said for like a slower paced style that locks down some of the aggression and just absorbs dives.
Yeah. We're also saying Painkiller come in there. Instead of Coluge on the tank. So Rupal subs in, Landon subs in here, Rupal subs out rather. So a couple of changes heading into this one. As both tanks starting off on D.Va, who is also like the strongest tank in the game right now. No surprises here on Numbani, especially a really strong hero.
Yeah, definitely a good moment in the tryouts for, I think, Hawk and Coluge, right? With their experience on D.Va, that's a tough competition to go against. Vega peeking the corner on the Brig. Initial proc found there on the whip shot. And Hawk makes a lot of space now, diving up towards the mid, creating opportunity cover for Team Freedom to step up. Starting to close the map in, but Painkiller's doing his best here to keep that aggression contained to the corner of the map. However, losing his armor now, he's got to fall back. The support is very good, though, from UV. That damage extremely good on the Landon, who has to play off the edge of the map. Now Vega takes a bit of pressure. The attack beginning to crack, but the supports can't quite keep each other up. Tree finds Vega. Hawk trades onto UV, though, and this one, actually, there's more to play for here. Painkiller does dive in, trading the mech for Landon's life. He's gonna likely go down in this Baby D.Va form. Actually, I like a little bit of a stall here from Team Freedom. Vega onto the Lucio. I think they want to bring the pace and try to go back in before Painkiller's here on the defense.
Yeah, especially with the spawn moved up on this map, right? Like, you get back so quickly if you are the attacker, so losing that mech, definitely a bit of a mistake there from Painkiller. You can already see Team Freedom, they're racking up the percentage, 50% already. They have all the space onto the point, and now Team Liberty, how do they retake here with Painkiller back in the mix?
Painkiller steps on the point, but this is a classic brutal retake. So hard to find your way in. I mean, the attackers here have such a nasty setup on the point. Painkiller doing his best to just hold it down here. Tree shooting back incredibly well. I love this position from Landon on the high ground, though, bringing a lot of damage and heals. Somehow, though, Hawk is dropping low. This is an incredibly well-executed recontest from Team Liberty. Got to give credit to Sugarfree here now, getting in on the Tracer, putting some pressure on the D.Va, sensing a little bit of weakness of the attackers. Yeah, recall deployed. Self-destruct used from Hawk over the top, making it awkward now to support these players on point. Hawk does find one with the self-destruct. Sugarfree, though, with two, and crucially finds Hawk while out of the suit. Amp Matrix from UV is going to lock in this retake. What a hold from Team Liberty. I thought they were done and dusted there.
Yeah, that was really impressive. And Ultraviolet expanding this amplification matrix as well. Goes down to 0 here, but Tree trades them out at least. So this is going to buy some time for Liberty to get back now with their Batiste. Yeah, what a hold from Liberty. Sugarfree just cleaning up onto the point there. The Tracer is so efficient at getting those couple of picks there in that D.Va duel, as both mechs were lost. See Freedom here now. They have this overclock available, but Tree as well with the override protocol. So you got
big
picks ready. Oh, this is an opening pick.
The good spam there from Lukemino sets it up. The beat, though, is too late for Team Liberty. It doesn't get onto two players. And this almost certainly is going to be over. Desperation override protocol. Tree has to get it all done, but it's just too much. The support is good, keeping everyone alive through that one. Vega and Kronik there, a couple, like that was a very clean span. We were on Vega's camp for a moment there. He finds, I think, 3 of 4 connection, and then the body shot rail from Kronik finishes off that opening kill. And if you don't find that, we could be looking at a very different fight. But instead, Lukemino, the beat, doesn't find the good connections, and Team Freedom now with double support ult. They need all the snowball they can get, though, because the clock ran down very bad on that first point.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see what they can cook up here on this second point, which can be a bit difficult to take here. You know, the high ground available for the defense is so strong. And see if we can get some momentum with these double support ultimates. That is definitely what Team Freedom needs right now. As you can see, the ultimate building up there, actually, because of this change, you know, with the roles as well. Amplification Matrix comes out. No frags yet for Team Freedom here. But they're getting some space. The payload is moving while this is happening. So Team Liberty, that may be trying to build a couple of ultimates here, but they're in a tough spot as they go for a bit of a coordinated dive here.
Beat from Team Freedom. They want to get aggressive. Hawk, though, doesn't get the connection of the beat, and that's going to slow his roll quite a bit there. See if Team Freedom can still get this done regardless. Zeruhh is getting the job done, finds the crucial kill onto Ultraviolet. Hawk takes down Lukemino, and that's going to be second point done and dusted. Team Freedom, great cleanup off the sound barrier.
Yeah, and it's going to be a pause call from Ultraviolet here, actually. See what's going on with Ultraviolet's PC right there. Yeah, it's a tough spot if you're Team Liberty because you don't have any ultimates there to really get anything going. So I kind of get the pincer dive, like, hey, Tracer D.Va, like, let's see if we can get a pick here going, at least, you know, force a lamp or something. Because otherwise you're just like staying back, spamming essentially, right? As we're getting right back into the game here. But this is going to be the point cap from Team Freedom because of that team wipe.
Yeah, Painkiller still on the respawn. Nimbani second, a brutal spot to make a defense. I mean, it's always been a tough place for defenders to fight. A lot of options for the attackers to work with. I think even more so after some of the map reworks. See how Team Freedom approach this third, though, because honestly, this third point is one of the harder takes in the game. And so with 3 minutes on the clock, I think there is a new lease on life for the attackers, but you don't want to throw away some fights here. You know, a couple bad fights, you get into a rough spot in the economy, and it's a very tough hole to dig yourself out of.
Yeah, and I think both teams here are going to take it slow. Poke and prod as recall is forced from both Tracers here. Amplification Matrix first from Landon, actually, as they try to round this corner.
Oh, great shot from Kronik. Takes down Painkiller instantly during the self-destruct. So D.Va is going to be out of this one, but UV into the back flank. He's getting it done himself. 2 kills off the Amp Matrix. And those are beautiful trades. Can Team Liberty collapse and clean this one up? It seems that Sugarfree and Lukemino might be able to get it done. Luke, wall riding back up onto the high ground, going to continue to support Sugarfree, who's chipping away at Hawk's mech. What a hold there from UV off the pause.
Yeah, crucial couple of picks there with the flanking amplification matrix. And now you can see Liberty setting up with this sound barrier, maybe looking for a bit of an aggressive play here. They definitely have the ultimate economy in their favor. Now you want to be pretty sparing with the ultimates here. Maybe just win a fight with Tree's override protocol. See what their fight planning looks like.
Ideally, you want to use nothing here and just kind of run that clock down,
Oh,
but
the
they just sense
beat.
weakness. They go for the deep sound barrier. They need a heavy cleanup to justify this investment. UV already out of the sound barrier. He's already dropped the drone. Vega putting pressure on from the flanks, but beautiful timing from Painkiller. Gets back, but not in time to get the hold. And Zeruhh grabbing a lot of cart push. Oh, what a kill from 3. The nade under the cart. That is brutal. Zeruhh wanted quite a bit more cart push. Does make meaningful progress on the payload. And so as the dust settles, as much as that was a great fight for Team Liberty, don't think you're too mad as the attackers.
No, I definitely think so. Here comes the override protocol from Tree, looking for those picks, but it was pulled like pretty far back and gives Freedom time here with the re-engage, the sound barrier now. This is the time to strike from Freedom. Huge ultimate, but they're not able to get anything for it, Jake.
Yeah, it does get them out here into the map. Zeruhh forced with an early recall. Painkiller relatively low on the defense, and the pressure being kept up here by the attackers. Zeruhh flanking into the backline, pulling away Emery's attention. The drone comes out, but it's too late. Tree is down. UV fights off Zeruhh, though. Now Sugarfree, can he respond in kind? Can he find some kills on this backline? Holding down Cart. The attack has gotten very fractured and splintered here, though, Johnny, and I feel like the defenders should be able to clean up. Kronik, maybe a kill would be enough here. Good connection on the UV, but he gives it right back.
Yeah, didn't work out for Freedom there at all. As we're down to a minute remaining here. Liberty are looking really strong on this 3rd point hold, and now with double support ultimate up as well, this is going to be a really difficult retake for Freedom. Arguably, that was their window when they had the sound barrier available. That advantage was so important for them now. Let's see what they can cook up here. Kronik still has the overclock. We've seen what Kronik can do in moments like this. This is the time for the hitscan player to step up.
True. Nice flanking Matrix, though. UV doubles down again. The beat comes in behind. Still with 2 ults deployed, they need to find kills off the Sugarfree on a sliver of HP, but Painkiller cleans up Landon, and the backline dive is good. Tree, 2 nade kills in the fight, and Hawk has to just hold on to this suit. 20 seconds left on the clock. You get DMAC'd here. Could be the game. Kronik, the kill to Sugarfree in the backline is probably going to slow the defender's roll, force them to reconsider fighting this one. And so that might be Team Freedom's last and best chance here as the clock runs down.
Yeah, still though, pretty expensive fight from Liberty as Freedom are going to push up here. Vegas 80% to this sound barrier. So if you can just take it easy here, trade out in the Diva battle as best possible, and use it to counter the override protocol. As a bit of a dive comes through here. Hawk is really deep here actually before the sound barrier is online.
Oh, nice nade up into the sky. Zeruhh found another. Beat comes in. Team Freedom need to clean this one up. Tree up in the skybox, though, playing out of range. Kronik finds another kill. And so with these OT spawns, attackers in a 4v3 advantage. Tree now plays his way back to the spawn. Sugarfree, he's gonna have to hold on to this cart as Painkiller tries to reset the mech. Hawk over to the Manga to get back into the fight just a little bit quicker. See if Sugarfree can connect with a pulse bomb here. It would be game winning if he can stop this hold here. Now Hawk's back into the fight, though, so we have a full setup for Team Freedom to fight this one. See if the Manga can get it done against Diva. But Painkiller with the self-destruct is going to be almost an impossible object to remove. UV has the M-Matrix, going to set it up in the back here. Just putting some powerful support onto Hawk. Bullied away on the Manga and just cannot touch. Zeruhh a little bit off sync there, but I think that fight was looking pretty brutal for the attacker.
Yeah, it's really tough for Team Freedom there because the Mauga doesn't really enable them to do much there. Obviously, Hawk dying before the sound barrier is trying to get back to the fight pretty quickly, and Mauga with that overrun gets back in time, but I mean, you can't really push off the card in a scenario like that.
Coluge twisting the knife there in the chat.
Like, come on, man. Like, no. In trials,
Look.
like, for real. For real. Is that right, though?
I mean, it was a
doing
little bit
that?
of a feat.
Come on,
it was
man.
a little bit of a feat. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little sus. But you know what? That's okay.
That is
That's
mind
okay.
games in the tryouts to be like writing C9. Oh, come on, man.
Look, Coluge and Hawk, you know, these guys have been playing against each other for years now. I feel like, you know, there can't be any bad blood on that one. I don't believe it.
I don't know. I am a salty guy, so I would be salty. Like, I would be like, I don't know. This is their tryouts. I'm just a Swedish person here. Like, I don't this is not my tryout. I don't care.
All right, how are Team Liberty gonna approach this attack? Because yeah, you did get it like all the way, or rather you were able to make the full hold at the very end of the map, but getting it through first is not a foregone conclusion, and that deep into third, if you can make a hold here, you would feel pretty good. Team Liberty, they're gonna go with the Symmetra. Sugarfree, TP's back up to the high ground. Different approach from this team. They just send Painkiller in, but that means the TP is broken. Disruptor shot, beautiful from Kronik there to deny the attack. Tree steps up with this pistol, trying to get damage done of his own. UV doing a massive job here, keeping everyone supported, but Painkiller just barely loses the suit. Can't quite get back inside in time, and this attack has been stifled in the choke.
Yeah, they were kind of stuck in that corridor, and obviously that's not going to favor them at all. That's it. Sojourn stops by. Hello. How's it going, Infekted? But yeah, really tough to be stuck in that room. Maybe they're going for a bit of a fake out play there, you know, sending Painkiller in, but at the same time needs that support, right? As they're going to go for this wide flank instead. And this is how, you know, the teams are trying to get this space, you know, trying to get some kind of positioning onto the point here. So their fake TP comes out, and at least it's going to allow Liberty to take some angles here.
Yeah, Painkiller getting deep into the back line, pulling a lot of aggro and attention onto himself, but Team Freedom are quick to turn around and focus on the supports and the DPS. With both BAPs down now, it's a game of low resources. Just the Lucio's assigned with the healing. A big shot from someone onto Lukemino, though, sets up in Kronik. Knocks it down as well. Beautiful connections from the Sojourn. Sugarfree, more to say in this fight, though, and Painkiller is still healthy. Zeruhh, a crucial moment. Can the Pulse Bomb splash? Not quite enough to take down Sugarfree. Now, he's going to have to fall back and lick his wounds for the moment. They're looking for the full cleanup here. Painkiller on a sliver of HP actually gets desuited. Some over-aggression, I think, from the attackers. It's going to give Team Freedom a very advantaged retake here. Maybe UV can pull this one out of his hat with the Ant Matrix, but it's brutal. Yeah, you've already lost the Diva. I think you just have to fall back.
Yeah, it's not the fight to start investing resources in, and knowing full well as well that Kronik, you know, is going to pop out on this Sojourn with the overclock in hand and rack up a couple of kills. Liberty instead decide to wait for the Diva and Matrix to return to them. Let's see what they can do, though. 2 minutes of the timer here, and this is going to be a big fight coming up for both parties. Lots of ultimates available for either team. Going main this time, which...
They've got the sim wall.
They got the sim
Something
wall
to play
indeed.
with. And they're just going to back off from the OC. Ooh, okay. Not a headshot there. UV just barely going to slip around the corner with the help of the Matrix from Painkiller. They look to just play this one super slow and cautious. Another rail eaten. And Diva now steps up. That creates opportunity for Zeruhh into the back line. Big damage connection, but he can't find the finished blows. He can't get the kills. Landon, though, peeking with the Ant Matrix, keeping them collapsed on there in the lower. Immense pressure being put on by this defense, but Team Liberty have built up a generous ult advantage here, Reinforce.
Right, but Freedom, they keep making plays, and I bet we'll see something similar now, because obviously they can't win 5 versus 1 ultimate, so they go for it.
Yeah, they're just going to full send with the beat into the backline. The counter beat from Lukemino is good. Sugarfree with the Symmetra wall is going to keep them alive. It's actually incredible that Team Freedom actually fully get out of that scenario without losing players. They still have something to say in this fight. Landon drops UV. Doesn't get the Ant Matrix out. Painkiller does get desuited, drops the self-destruct. Kronik and Landon with 2 and 3. Team Freedom against all odds. That one is going to sting for Team Liberty, getting styled on by the Baptiste.
Dude, they were 1 ultimate against 5, and they find a way to win it out with a Landon 4K, reminiscent of his play at OWCS finals in Stockholm, of course, where he clutched up similarly. 30 seconds to go here, though. Tree still has this override protocol if he can get on a nice off angle, but against a Diva, not a lot of targets to go for here, actually.
Hawk trying to finish phase 0.
Off.
They just burst him down. They kill the threat. Landon's deep into the backline. A back cap from Sugarfree, though. It might be working. The C9, it could be coming in. Sugarfree. An old hand. He's Reading that aggression. Hey, go for that dive. Go for that aggro play. And Infekted had to let him know. I mean, and hey, Team Freedom, you've been making those aggro plays. It gets red. Now Team Liberty finding that kill onto Zeruhh, but a 4v5 player advantage on the streets. Landon has already used drone. They could be looking for more here. Ooh, a rail from Kronik, though. Protects the vulnerable backline, and that should stabilize things here for Team Freedom.
And thankfully it stabilizes, because this was a big boom scenario possible there. After that, kind of a C9. But now Freedom able to stop things here on second point, and they're able to hold this corner. They still have amplification matrix and the overclock as well. A lot of crucial tools to make it difficult for Liberty here, as Landon pops the amplification matrix and Kronik follows up.
Man, these two have been a dynamic duo on the Baptiste and the Sojourn. An incredible powerhouse. So many pickoffs, like winning them so many fights. To your point, Johnny, without the economy advantage, right? With everything stacked against them. It's just the individual prowess. And Tree, very consistent damage throughput here on the Emery, but the spikes and those burst kills haven't been coming through as consistently. Tree, though, as I say that, the caster curse this time benefits him. Hawk trades on a Painkiller, though, who's out of the suit. Bit of an awkward movement on the Diva. The support is good to keep Painkiller alive. He needs to get enough pistol damage to resuit, because the defenders are going to be very happy about having the opportunity to burst down a Diva. Tree! What a kill onto Landon. Maybe some overconfidence there from the Baptiste after all the kills he's been fighting in this round. The beat just a second late to be able to get the kill on him. But despite losing the Batiste, I mean, the beat is just enough. Team Freedom rolling through.
Yeah, Team Freedom are really fighting well on this defense, because even though they're losing players left and right, they're coming up in these skirmishes and getting the picks necessary to stall off the attack. And now you're seeing the same thing here. Hawk gets a pick onto Sugarfree as well, so trying to stabilize here, and Vega gets back to the fight. So this is still going to be a one-fight territory here on the second point in 3. He will have the space here to try to pop this override protocol, see if he can make something happen, but Landon, he's got another amplification matrix, and he's been golden so far.
Up into the skybox, gonna give him a little bit of space to work with on an angle that's very hard to punish with the Ant Matrix. Still, he's playing scared. He's got to respect some of these hit scan threats. The damage he's being able to weave here into the backline is gonna be good enough to take down the drone, setting up Sugarfree for the pulse bomb to kill Landon. Hawk dies during the self-destruct. It somehow still kills Ultraviolet, though. He just couldn't find the way through that position. Painkiller getting dove, but he has a self-destruct here. He's going to be happy to be taking all this attention, lasting so long into the fight. Great destruct positioning there in the doorway. Drone comes in, helping Zeruhh to hold on to this point, and Hawk arrives as well, so there's still a fight to be played here in the overtime. Team Freedom would love to end things here and now, and as the clock ticks down, Team Liberty dropping fast here. Resources being drained out of them. UV needs to find something with the Ant Matrix, but he's already so low on the Batiste. The touch comes in, Ant Matrix does come out, but Landon and Zeruhh, it seems that they've done their work. A couple players remaining for Team Liberty, but Zeruhh cleaning house now on the Tracer in the backline.
Yeah, stalwart defense from Freedom to close things out there. That was a really impressive defense. Like, the C9 aside, the playmaking from Landon was like amazing. And I think there's something to be said about a team like that just fights really well instinctively, you know? Like, there was a couple of moments there, like, yeah, the C9, yes, on second point, you get picked off before the fight, stuff like that. But, like, you can fix those mistakes. But a team that fights like that is proactive, goes in with ults, and wins out these fights in the way they did, I think that is really impressive, and that is kind of like what you're looking for in a tryout like this. Like, who can really, like, put their foot on the gas and win out some of these skirmishes, some of these fights.
Yeah, and finding the way through in this scenario, you're not supposed to win. It's one thing to be able to execute your expectations and to kind of like hit those marks, but to have your back against the wall and be forced to make a play, and the other team also, they know you're going to make a play, right? They know you're desperate, and these are experienced players, so you really, you can't see that they're being surprised. It's just a bit of an outplay. The execution just too good, and great tempo reads for both sides. I got to give a lot of credit to both teams, though. Very dynamic match of Nimbani. I don't know, am I wrong, Johnny? Has Nimbani not been in the pool since the rework? I'm trying to remember if we've really seen it on this. I feel like I just haven't seen it played competitively after this rework.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
At this point, the rework's like a year ago, right? It's been a long time, unless I'm crazy.
Yeah. Maybe it was in Korea. Like, what? I don't know why, but I have like so many memories of like Korean matches taking place on Nimbani. So maybe that clouds my old memory. But no, I don't believe we saw it on NA and EMEA. And I'm not gonna look it up. And so, you know, Twitch chat, go ahead, have fun. You guys figure that one out.
Well, that's an impressive game too. I'm curious to see who is going to be coming in. But we're going to go to a quick 5-minute break, of course, to let the coaches have a time to check some subs, consider who they want to have going up against each other, what kind of comps they want to see on map 3. So stick with us. On the other side of the break, we'll be going into the rest of the first day of Team USA tryouts. All right, guys, we're going to be getting into the next map in just about a minute here. Coaches ready to send in their next squad of players. I'm curious what kind of comps you want to see, Johnny. Like, what do you want to see next as we go into Zeruhh? We've seen a lot of D.Va today, which is totally understandable. A bit of Ramantra on Lijiang Tower. Is there any other comps you're kind of interested to see forced? Ball. Actually, I like what you're cooking. I would love a forced ball mirror here, just to throw a wrench in the works here.
All right, who has the job to go up against Infekted?
Yeah, right. Coluge, you play ball, right?
Yeah, who wants to play ball? No, I mean, I think it's you know, all respect to the players. I think it's fairly uncontested territory that Infekted's the best ball player among the tank players. So maybe you don't need to play that actually, because you kind of know.
You play ball, but you don't let Infekted put two others in. It looks like
Lucio, man.
Lucio and Embryan. I wonder if they're going to do anything else. There's the option for coaches to ban yet more heroes. We'll just see if this is the only two they're going to be working with. But taking away the Lucio on Zeruhh, I think this leans us toward a poke style, right? Which is not something we've seen a lot of high pace so far. We don't think we've seen anything really in the slower variety. And I think that's smart from the coaches because, to be honest, that might be a meta that we see more of this year with some of the new characters added, right? With Domina now having like another option in the poke category, some powerful tools there to be played defensively.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Domina kind of settles there as well, because, you know, you go pretty fast as well in a bit of a brawl style composition. You know, you can make a lot of things happen as well. So Domina, I think it's a pretty versatile hero that I'm looking forward to see more from. But obviously the gun is so powerful at range as well, especially with the range perk. So I'm hoping we see some Domina today, actually. Like, I think that would be perfect, just like, hey, who's the best Domina here? Like, can we see some of that gameplay? But so far it's going to be Infekted, you know, prematurely looking the Sigma here in spawn, which
I wouldn't mind the Sigma here. I think it's good.
Yeah, we saw
ban
it.
Lucio.
Liquid, I think in stage 3 they played the Sigma here.
I mean, on this first point of Zeruhh, I think Sigma might be the best comp. I mean, then again, it is a D.Va meta, so maybe it's a bit of a troll. We'll have to see. Infekted still considering
depending
it.
on what they lock.
I think it is a good matchup in this meta. Lukemino going to be on. Well, actually, what am I interested to see here? Is it actually goes back to D.Va for Painkiller, so they're going to be playing a faster pace here overall. See if the Wu Yang spam is going to be able to get past this Sigma barrier. Team Liberty with the Juno, though, having a little bit of dynamism in the fight. So actually, both teams with some pokey tools. Lukemino playing on the outside with Wu Yang here could present a little bit of a problem if he's able to put some damage down on the back line.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting test for Freedom here as they set up the angles here to really wrap around this Sigma. You can see Painkiller going for a bit of a dive here. Has to manage this mech health now as Zeruhh finds a pick early onto Landon. And if they can just kind of like calm themselves down now, relax, they should be able to take advantage of that and cap out this point. But I think this might force a swap from Liberty actually, because this Sigma comp now is going to be pretty exposed to like the Tracer on the side angle, the Sojourn even, the Wu Yang of course. Oh, it's a comfortable spot.
I think it's a great read of the situation from Team Freedom. They know that they cannot fight head-to-head into the Sigma, so they go around, they kill the backline. Sure, you get the cap and 20% on Team Liberty, but Infekted feels like he's not going to be able to retake on the Sigma, wants to bring the pace on D.Va, and Vega over to the Brig. So Team Freedom with significantly more spam, but man, Vega is going to be able to brawl with the best of them here in the front line. Infekted trying to play on that advantage, but takes a lot of pressure on his walk up the point.
Yeah, I just think he's going to be under a lot of pressure here on this Brig, though. So let's see what he can do. Obviously, you want to pressure the point here, but still, the angles so powerful for Freedom as Zeruhh comes in on the flank, and Vega already struck down.
Great connection here between Zeruhh and Painkiller onto the backline. Landon going way back from the fray. He's not able to continue to provide support, just had to fall out just to live through that one. Infekted going to be dying late here, and that's going to be first point. More than likely, Infekted going to be on the receiving end of a vicious stagger. See when they actually do end up killing him around 90%. I mean, he won't be back to this fight, so I don't even think Team Liberty go for the stall here. It's so unlikely that you can do enough to get your tank back into this one.
Yeah, and I think this is a really interesting setup from Freedom now, because I think actually Lukemino, you know, bit of an underdog, I'd say, compared to so many great support players, you know, trying out here. But this Wu Yang strat is a really strong one for Freedom, as they take these wide angles and like make plays, finds individual picks, break down these kind of compositions. So I think Lukemino, this could be a really good showcase for him as he tries to make his case here to make the USA roster.
Rupal opening up with the rush here. It's enough to force Team Liberty back off the point, but the point's not open yet, so a little bit of an early pop if it doesn't find kills. Vega on a sliver of HP. Kronik finds Tree. And so despite the rush, it seems that Team Liberty's had the better end of this fight. Zeruhh with the pulse bomb, though, is going to keep Team Freedom in the engagement. The fact that they have two supports could be the edge they need. beautiful catch here from Zeruhh. And Painkiller finds more onto Kronik. See if this D.Va can continue to fight. Zeruhh out of blinks, out of recall, chased down now by Infekted. Team Freedom need to clean this one up sooner rather than later, because you got the supports now coming back into this. The Wu Yang ultimate is enough to take down Landon. The pulse bomb onto Painkiller, but arguably the least impactful stick does be able to. The bomb rather from Infekted is enough to take down Painkiller, and Vega boops Painkiller off in the baby D.Va form. Luckily he didn't pop the self-destruct from that one.
Yeah, so a bit of a sticking power here. Let's see if they can actually stabilize enough here. Both Sojourns popping the overclock here. Looking for a pick on either side. Zeruhh is going to be the first one to claim a member here, and immediately again Liberty just down players off the get-go. But Landon ties things up.
Bit of an overconfident slide there from Tree. Gets punished. Team Liberty get up in his face and start boxing. Now Break stepping up on the point. In theory, this is where she should be strong. Rally online. See if she's going to be able to step in on this one. Maybe wants to hold it off for the next fight, but just can't quite manage. Too much pressure coming in. Has to rally into the self-destruct. See if they're able to continue pushing forward. This ult still with a few more seconds on it. That disruptor shot really biting from Tree, who's gone over to the Sojourn. See if it's going to be enough to bring him back in, but now you're on the retake against Brig holding the corners. This is going to be a tougher test for Lukemino.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one indeed, but Freedom, I think they're going to take their time here. As they contest the Tracer here, Sugarfree probably forced to recall over there, as actually Infekted is going to push in here. No ultimate available for him either, so a bit of a commitment here from Liberty as he tried to get the place going, but no member picked off. Painkiller going to lose that mech though. Suzu missed as well, but the Kitsune Rush, Freedom, they're looking to capitalize down a member.
It's going to be a tough one though without the tank. Team Liberty just waiting this one out, rotating around, playing now as a death ball. Really making this comp sing, and Team Freedom playing on the outskirts, struggling to get in on this one. Great connection though from the Suzu. It keeps players alive through the pulse point. I think would have been a multi-kill there from Sugarfree, but Infekted still continuing to pile on the pressure, and the fallback from Team Freedom is getting punished.
Getting punished indeed here as the Liberty, you know, they're pushing to 95% and counting here. Landon healing up his fellow teammates here as Painkiller is getting this contest still pretty close to the ultimate. Gets a pick onto Sugarfree. Orbital Ray comes out here, and this is just a crazy back and forth here in a bit of an overtime.
Now Wu Yang heals are massive onto Painkiller. Just mans up into the Orbital Ray. There's just not enough Team Liberty players to really make use of the ultimate. They still have a fight to be had here. 75 on the rally for Vega. Would love to be able to charge that one and keep this contest going. But they do lose the point flip in the chaos. Both D.Vas with self-destruct looking to get very aggressive here. Infekted waiting for his opportunity, stepping up. Here he goes, boosting into the backline onto the Wu Yang. Is Wu Yang going to be able to play his way out of this? Now steps up onto the point. Big pressure onto Kronik, who's trying to get some kind of connection with these rails, but can't find anything. Now we come to the final fight. Team Freedom have eked out a lot of point presence into this one. Wise recall from Zeruhh there, stepping up into the rail. And yeah, the rally, you think it'd be enough here, but Team Freedom playing this one very well, leaving only the D.Va out as a target, who you're almost happy to see D-Mac and popped into a self-destruct. Painkiller wants to put that self-destruct in an ideal location. Sugarfree and Vega, though, into the backline, punish the rest of the team. Great read, not focusing the D.Va there, not letting Painkiller get any bow in the self-destruct, and he recognizes it too. Doesn't pop the ultimate, saves it for another day. Team Liberty even the score 1-1.
And just look at the ultimates for Team Freedom. Another super frustrating moment there when Rupal just a few percentage away from building the Kitsune Rush, which would have been the go signal for Team Freedom, but not able to generate those ultimates in time. Liberty are going to close that one out and tie things up instead. And as this rotation is kind of happening now, can you find an entry? Maybe pop an ultimate early to try and make a play. It's going to be Kronik, pop the overclock, and that's a pick on the tree.
Over the top and takes out his opposite number. Now under pressure, harassment from the Tracer, grabs a Mega Pack and is going to be able to get back into this one. Painkiller does find Vega. Wait, so there might be more to say about this fight. An Orbital Ray forced out from Landon. Painkiller commits a self-destruct as well. Rupal finds Kronik zoned away from an ideal position there by the self-destruct. Painkiller takes a pulse bomb, though has to fall back, but is going to be able to feed a lot of support ultimate back to his allies. Infekted trying to keep this pressure on, and we're at full chaos mode, man. Both teams scrapping for this one, but Painkiller finding Infekted before the resuit should be enough to secure the retake.
Yeah, losing the D.Va is going to be a huge thing here for Liberty as they're pushed back despite the point cap, and Vega as well goes down before the rally is popped. So
Infekted
Liberty, they're gonna leave the points here as you said indeed. Infekted swapped over.
He was
to the
thinking
wall,
about it. He was thinking about it.
Yeah. When the teammates started dropping, we make the wiser choice to go back to the D.Va instead.
I wouldn't have hated it, you know, if the fight got scrappy, if she had enough teammates alive. There's a reason for that, right? To get back into the fight, and I think it's a heads-up play, but a good read to not commit once the fight really looked desperate.
Yeah.
Team Liberty now
Quick rotation here, actually, with the Juno. You know, they want to get to the point with this rally.
No packs, no packs. He needs one more. Okay, just barely gets it in time. So much pressure here on Vega. Tree with the overclock in the high ground, has great position. Infekted right up in his face, though, making sure he doesn't get any value out of this overclock whatsoever. Tracer dodging the shots. Sugarfree pulling a lot of attention onto himself. See if Team Liberty can make something of this, and they can. Finding the D-suit onto Painkiller, and now Infekted piling on the pressure. Vega as well, stepping up, recognizes this is an opportunity to wipe Freedom off the face of the earth. Rupal does find Sugarfree. That's going to take some of the teeth out of this aggression. Going to cause Team Liberty to fall back and just clear off their own backline. Maybe just in a position of holding on to the point without their Tracer.
Yeah, really knowing their composition really well there, the way they rotated and gained value from that rally. And now Freedom on the retake. They have the Kitsune Rush here, though. So probably looking to go pretty fast. There's already Liberty. They're respecting this Kitsune Rush. See if they're really going to juggle this point. Kronik goes down, actually, and that is going to be all Freedom in this one.
Yeah, the rush just overwhelms there. I think if Tree doesn't find that kill, it could be a more tenuous situation. But Team Liberty just doing their best to stall out, and Team Freedom not letting them get much of anything out of that. Sugarfree still getting a few more seconds here. Painkiller is going to hunt him down, and we're going to be going to final fight once again here on Zeruhh. Team Freedom stepping up, though, sensing an opportunity. Maybe they can find a couple late kills and deny that opportunity. Team Liberty, though, fighting this close to their spawn. They should have a big edge. Painkiller playing with the house chips here, though. That Diva Bomb so potent. He's just up in their face, forcing huge attention. Here comes Zeruhh into the back lane with the Tidal Blast. The stun is good. The connection is even better now onto the Juno. Vega trying to fight this round and does win the 1v1.
Contest?
So there's still something to be played for here as Infekted, Sugarfree, both with ultimates. There's a chance in this one, but only a sliver, and then Sugarfree goes down. Infekted, this seems like too tall a task, even for the young gun.
Yeah, Infekted should be here, I think, with Vega as well, but investing resources in this one is going to be a tough one. Oh, the rally!
He's stalling. He's and the Ray as well.
Yeah,
and they have a huge bank of ultimates. This could be winnable, Johnny. They're committing behind this one, and with this ultimate advantage they've generated through the round, Infekted, he might be dropping low, but still has that Diva Bomb, still has room to play with. Now up in the face of Tree, denying value from the overclock.
Wow.
And Team Liberty, great understanding of the macro situation. You gotta credit the supports with that one, right? If they don't know they have a huge ultimate advantage, they don't commit there. So great read on the ult track. It gets Team Liberty the fight win, and now they're up 2-1. Game point on Zeruhh.
Yeah, and also the decision-making to pop that rally when you're at 70 health. Credit to Sugarfree, getting the touch there, of course. And you can see Freedom, they were aware. We got to poke this Tracer to get the recall out. But Sugarfree reached the point just in time that bought enough time for Liberty to get back with those support ultimates. 2-1 up in the lead here on Zeruhh now as Kronik goes for a bit of a flank with this overclock. So you can go for a bit of a play here. Difficult in these kind of compositions, but sneaking by, looking for a shot here. Hits one, can't secure the kill.
Is the follow-up dive there. Great back off from Team Freedom here into the small room, denying angles. You're going to get opportunities here, though, on Kronik. Back cap here from Zeruhh. It's going to be nice if it gets the point control, and it can't quite even get that. What a timing from Infekted to back and secure the point. So zero value for Team Freedom whatsoever in this fight, and you win with just the OC. So that's a pretty ideal first fight for Team Liberty, unless Zeruhh can extract some sort of further concession, but he won't be able to.
Yeah, Sugarfree looking really good on the Tracer, securing a 3k there with the help of his team. And that is going to be Liberty now taking control of this Zeruhh. Pressure on Freedom here to try to get back into this map. Rupal has the Kitsune Rush. It's going to be a bit of a commit here from Infekted, committing the boosters, has the ultimate up, of course, but here's the Kitsune Rush. This is Freedom's time to strike.
Yeah, the aggression from Infekted is so real. Tree under constant pressure into this one. Painkiller, though, finds Vega a bigger kill, and Tree takes down Landon. Kronik on just a sliver of HP finds Lukemino, but it's not going to be enough. It's only Sugarfree and Infekted, so just a stalling situation here. See if Infekted wants to commit the self-destruct. Seems unlikely in this scenario, and he's going to hold on for another opportunity. So yeah, despite all that pressure from Infekted, it's actually Team Freedom who find the first kill onto Vega, which kind of surprises me. Brig should be one of the tougher kills here. Somehow, though, Sugarfree takes down Zeruhh. A bit of an overextension from Team Freedom, and now the point they've just won is up for contention here. Vega, 95 to rally. He's going to push the pace here.
Yeah, this could be time to kind of close things out here, make things really difficult for Freedom. 68%. This could be a moment where, you know, you get the point cap here, and Freedom is in a world of trouble. So very important fight here. So Lukemino going to put the ult on himself here, just to stay alive. A lot of ultimates on either board still here. Zeruhh finds a nice pick onto Kronik there. Exactly what Freedom needed.
The perfect connection here, and the OC from Tree as well to add more pressure. The rally from Vega, though, is pretty dominant on the point. Infekted does not respect that rally whatsoever. Great play from the supports here, keeping each other alive. against the D.Va and the Tracer dive. Vega dropping low, needs some help from Landon. Is going to get it in the form of that ring. Cap comes in now from Team Liberty. And the clock's ticking up here. Kronik finds that late kill onto Zeruhh. Is going to be one of your key players for a last-second recontest. And Team Liberty want to end this one here and now, considering pushing the pace into these attacker spawn. They're going to think better of that. Fall back with the double support alive. Now some aggression. Kronik on the side flank gets a big connection onto Tree. An easy kill for Sugarfree to clean up. OC Poppy goes straight to the back line, finds Lukemino as well. The double slide to stay comfortable. They flip the map, finding 2 kills in the process. Team Freedom have to hold on here for an almost impossible length of time. Maybe Painkiller with the self-destruct can do something, but Kronik just keeps finding his kills. Zeruhh dropping. Painkiller almost certainly dead off the resuit. Does get back into the mech and actually wait, the bomb kills Sugarfree, but Kronik just keeps finding kills. And Painkiller dropping. The OT spawn's going to be too brutal. And that'll be Team Liberty taking 3-1 here. I don't think the map's going to end with the scrim code, so we're going to go to the 5th point regardless. But well played by Team Liberty.
Absolutely, and they really identified how their composition is being played here. Landon, Vega, so good in the backline, and Sugarfree, I feel like, is crowding the kill feed these last few points here on the Tracer, making big plays for his team. But we're gonna fight it all out here. This is a practice, of course, bit of a sprint. So Rupal has this Kitsune Rush available. Don't want to commit it too early and allow Liberty to disengage. So Liberty, they have control here onto the point, and Vega's getting close to this rally. Maybe that can help, holding down this fort here as Liberty goes for the decisive push.
Rush versus rally on the point. Vega trying to stifle it, trying to get up in their face. The Suzu is good, the D.Va protection better, and that's enough to keep Tree alive somehow, some way. Zeruhh profits on the flank, taking down Kronik and Vega. Team Liberty knocked out of this one. Sugarfree does find a kill onto Tree, but it feels like too little too late. Zeruhh, with the massive resource advantage, is going to be cleaning house.
Yeah, great performance by Zeruhh there. Popping off on the Tracer, finding the picks in the backline, and has the pulse bomb available once more here. You can see Liberty now, of course, playing this Juno Brig composition. They're gonna try to stick together, make the most out of that healing as they wrap around this left-hand side. Kind of flank here from Zeruhh, as we're seeing in the secondary screen there. Can it come in clutch here? As he's looking for Vega. Nice bash by Vega, actually. Forces Zeruhh away, and this is Liberty's time. Juno pops the abilities to try to get on towards this point. Lukemino pops the rally himself.
Zeruhh again in a tough spot, finds Landon. Rupal takes down Sugarfree, and this push is over before it's even really begun. Lukemino with the rally is just way too much pressure for Team Liberty to deal with.
Yeah, Liberty struggling there to walk up in this type of composition, but now Landon's getting close to this orbital ray, so if you can get this up in time, it's going to be a nice addition here, and maybe you can attempt to get to the point that way. But 83% here, Jake. It's going to be a bit of a tough touch here for Liberty regardless to get a proper fight going here.
Yeah, so much pressure from all sides. Once again, Zeruhh on the back flank. Huge pressure out of Vega. Slivers of HP. Tree, connection with the rail from long range. Lukemino goes down too, so without the Briggs, this is turning into a brawl. Both OCs are out. Tree has found one more. Kronik, though, takes his head off, looking for more connections. The D.Va up in his face, but a headshot onto Painkiller is going to dissuade him there, and Sugarfree should be able to clean this one up. Massive kills from Kronik. A little bit of a Sojourn gap to win that one.
Yeah, and those are the plays you need to make during the USA tryouts here to try and secure your spot. So many great players battling for a very limited amount. Now Liberty, they have this orbital ray up still. Let's see if they want to take things slow here and play it onto the point to secure a bit more value. As Freedom is walking up. Rupal's getting close to this Kitsune Rush himself. It's going to be a battle of the flex support ultimates here. As the orbital ray gets popped here. Painkiller, quite committed actually.
Wow.
Zeruhh is the first one to get a frag.
The ray is not enough to keep Vega alive. That's going to be painful, but Infekted has a ton of HP. He's wreaking havoc in the backline. Great Matrix to buy Sugarfree time to go grab a pack. Swarms forward and even takes down Tree. Painkiller, though, giving it right back on the other side. Pulse bomb onto the suit. It's enough to drop Infekted, denying him the chance for a remake. The recall perfectly timed, of course, by Zeruhh. Back onto the point, and now chasing forward to hunt down Sugarfree. And Team Freedom, they lose the map, but they still answer with a win in the end.
Yeah, definitely a back and forth in that map. And I feel like, I talked about Sugarfree kind of mid-map looking really good, but then Zeruhh popped off there in the last point as well, making plays for his team, as you said, during the orbital ray, right? So these Tracers are going back and forth as well, trying to earn themselves their spot. But I thought it was interesting how it's really a tale of two different play styles. The one side at first, you saw the Wu Yang coming out from Lukemino. You saw the Juno and the Brig come out from Team Freedom as well. And both teams were kind of like trying to figure out this their own win condition. And in the middle of that map, it really was all about the Juno break. And I thought Vega did some great plays during very tough situations for a Brig to navigate. You know, you're pretty vulnerable on a hero-like Brig, but, you know, made some good choices overall, and Freedom earned the quote-unquote victory on Saravasa.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down, I think, to that one fight, right, where you get those overtime touches from Sugarfree, Vega commits the rally, the respawners get there in time, and it's just a great read to be able to clutch out that fight where, I mean, Team Liberty were up in their face, trying to deny the recontest, trying to make them think twice about even going for the fight whatsoever. So the fact that they come back in, they secure the hold, they play deep into a long and stressful fight is massive. Got to give credit to Kronik, though, man. Like, I think people probably would have come into this say, look, Tree's going to be like the heavy favorite on hit scan. He's like the bigger name player realistically right now. Kronik is on demon time today, man. Like, where the Sojourn has looked good, he has been on fire.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what's so great about the tryouts, you know, gives Kronik an opportunity to prove it against the favorites, the odds-on favorites to make it for this Team USA roster. And, you know, Kronik continues to pop off on these hit scan heroes, you know, makes it really tough for the coaching staff, for Team USA to make a decision on what hit scan will we bring to the tournaments this
I don't envy
year.
the coaches this year, man. Like,
No,
there's
it's so
many.
tough.
Everyone has played well in this tryout. Like, everyone has had their big plays. Everyone has had big moments. I mean, that's the reason, like you were saying, right? The USA is an embarrassment of riches in terms of top-level players to bring together to a World Cup team. And I know, like you were saying, all these players, they want a repeat of that victory. They want to bring home the gold there at the Overwatch World Cup. And I mean, to do it at BlizzCon and to do it in front of the fans, it just is a different level. So for all these players, I mean, this is those humble beginnings, but the performances today can lead towards that moment.
As we head on over to Gibraltar for our next map, and it's going to be a Diva ban, which maybe
Surely
gives the
we play
opportunity
Winston.
Winston, please.
We banned Diva and Kiri. This is like begging them to play Winston Ana. That's just, we're going to Gibraltar. We're banning Diva, Kiri. If you play Simbab Lucio, I understand, but that should
be
I'm
minus
gonna be
points.
unhappy. I'm
the
gonna
coach
be
should
unhappy.
be like, no, bad. We went to Gibraltar. You play the dive.
I hope to see the Winston here. I feel like it's
The Coluge
just,
Winston, San Francisco Shock for throwback.
oh my, that would be iconic. I wonder. Ooh, okay, he's hovering the sig here. I wonder if that's for real. I mean, I don't hate like a pure
He's
poke
out
style.
on defense, yeah.
And to be honest, I don't think I've seen Gibraltar played at all. I mean, Gibraltar got a monster rework, and in fairness, the ship now that it's no longer like a busted OP position,
Oh my
maybe
God.
is not such a free Winston dive map.
Yeah, I've definitely like messed up my jump there, and I know I'm not trying out for World Cup teams, but that ship is mightily annoying on this rework here. As Kronik,
Okay.
again, Jake.
Yeah, come on, this guy on the Widow, right? This is when I think he really cut his teeth at the Esports World Cup a couple years ago, right? When the team was down and out, it felt like they had no chance, getting dominated by one of those Korean superstar squads, and Kronik just went Widow and took the freaking lobby over. Like, he almost won it single-handedly. Want to see what this guy can do on Gibraltar. UB, though, finding Zeruhh is going to take some more wind out of this defender's sails. They're really on the fallback now.
It's also going to be an opportunity here for Freedom to showcase some different heroes. You know, Rupal's overturned to the Baptiste now, Lukemino's on the Ilari, Tree on the Hanzo as well. Tree definitely known for his Hanzo play as well as his a frag onto Infekted there. This is going to be a very poke-heavy kind of defense here from Freedom as Zeruhh finds another pick onto Vega right there.
Yeah, good hold there from Tree and Rupal. Infekted, maybe a little over-aggressive, trying to continue that snowball. Recognize he had no way out. And that cleanup is going to be very nice for Team Freedom. I mean, the Winston comp is all about the momentum, right? It's all about the pace. And once this Sigma comp starts to get towards the ultimates, things get a lot more awkward for the divers. Sugarfree only 40% to Blade. You just don't charge Blade in this comp matchup. You really don't. You find some burst kills. Your damage is very important to the team. But realistically, you do not get Blade quickly. But Kronik again, and onto the Baptiste, arguably the most impactful kill he could find in this situation. Ready now for the flank peek and finds Zeruhh before he can even come in. He's stepping up, man. He's taking this fight. He's taking the 1v1. This might be over aggressive though. Pack grab now from Zeruhh.
Wow.
But the support is good. Well played. Keeping
And Ultraviolet
Kronik
has
alive
this
there.
nano-boost here actually, so Infekted is going to be able to hold these close side angles. Coluge though finds a pick onto Sugarfree. Nano-boost is popped.
Another rock onto the Genji, drops him. Sugarfree struggling into this one. A tough matchup to be sure. Infekted though, cuts off support in the backline. Now is going to step over towards Lukemino. Doesn't quite have that primal rage just yet. Lukemino up in the sky, has to evade these shots. Kronik firing back, and it's actually Vega who gets the finishing blow. Vega on a sliver of HP, does drop to Zeruhh. Doesn't see the opportunity to commit into this one. And Rupal Tree should be able to hold this one down. The headshot is gonna seal the deal. The Hanzo finding his mark into that crucial fight.
And Sugarfree is kind of struggling on the engineer, not really able to help out Infekted and Team Freedom. They make a grand stand on the first point hold as they're able to put up their double flex support backline once more.
Okay, that was honestly, that was on Tree. Why is he peeking that?
You gotta respect the Widowmaker at this point.
That was a little
Have you not seen enough?
Sus. Here comes the Primal into the backline. Infekted in. Sugarfree finds the kill onto Rupal. This is his time to make a fight work. Don't brute this one. Okay, he doesn't. Coluge finds a connection here. Yeah, I think it's just the Widow. And Zeruhh, wait, does find Ultraviolet in the chaos. There could be more to say for the defenders. Tree finds one more kill. Vega with 2, though. Surely this is Sugarfree's moment. Might need to pop the blade. Wants to hold on to it for the snowball, but Tree takes his head off before he can even pull the sword. Kronik in the backline. I don't think he has any intention to cap.
They can't? Oh, Tree. Oh, what an arrow. This guy on Hanzo is just a treat, man. What has been? I can't believe they pulled off the defense again. What is this Gibraltar?
Yeah, Vega over to the Lucio, wants to double down, follow Sugarfree in with the blade. It's Sugarfree's time to shine.
Sugarfree has the blade.
He has to.
Let's see it.
All right, but Kronik, if he's gonna pop the Infra sight, but Zeruh's already in the back line. He's gonna hear the voice line, gonna go straight in. Here comes the blade, though. It's enough to just burn down Coluge. They go straight for the tank. No respect, Tree. Can he hit it? Does find one shot. And the deflect held for long enough that he won't be able to find the finishing blow, but you come hide in the wrong room when Sugarfree's there.
2v2?
Does trade out, finds another, and it's actually just UV. So in the chaos,
the 1-on-1.
Surely he can't win this.
Oh,
attack. It's just
back.
Ana versus the world.
It's Jover. Yeah.
Oh, that's painful. We wanted the Winston dive. We got the Winston dive. But man, those two back-to-back kills from Coluge onto Sugarfree, I feel like that set the tone in this one. I mean, and Kronik was doing God's work too. Like, you cannot ask for more from the Widow.
Yeah, and as much as we talk about Gibraltar being a dive map, like that is such a tough defense to try to break down as well, because you try to, you know, take some space on the high ground, or whether you're rotating into server room, like there's just so much poke coming your way. And then, you know, naturally you have a tracer as well trying to bite you from the sides. So it's really tough to play that kind of a vulnerable composition into what Liberty were doing with their flex support players. So an impressive defense there, but I don't know. I don't want to put too much stock into that failed, arguably failed dive coming through there on the Winston composition, because it is a really tough composition to play here.
Yeah, especially in like the more pickup game setting here of a tryout scrim. You'd probably have an easier time on the poke style. So props to the Winstons, and now we could see a Winston mirror match. Kronik, can he get it done on the Widow defense? You may have gotten full held, but Gibraltar's not a map where the first point cap is free or guaranteed. Kronik, a few well-placed shots here could really set the tone, buy them some time to build up crucial support ultimates for this compound. Gonna drop down, threaten the cart push. Great awareness from Zeruhh, though, of the threat of this angle. Still, the body shot comes in. It's gonna force him off the cart.
Yeah, I mean, Kronik's done nothing wrong on this map. He just continues to pop off there, so let's see if he can keep it going on the defense here. Tree, though, is going to have the benefit of the Sonic Arrow to try and gain some ground.
Oh, what a nade.
Yeah, it's a big aggressive play from Ultraviolet. Great nade.
Great sleep as well. Onto the aggressive dive. Coluge going to get brutally punished into this one. Do they have the damage for the finish? Yes, Sugarfree does, helped by those orbs from Vega. And a little bit of cart push coming in, but beautiful hold there from Team Liberty, despite what looked like a tough scenario. Infekted takes matters into his own hands, dives into the backline, and the team follows up. The sleep, though, from Rupal is enough to set up for essentially a free kill for Tree.
Yeah, and Zeruh's going to continue pushing this payload forward here. Ultraviolet is going to get close to this Nano, and that gives you the opportunity to make some aggressive plays with either your Tracer or your Winston here onto a pretty vulnerable backline of the Ana Ilari. Let's see here, Liberty, how they choose to defend this point. Oh, the diveable target. Kronik doesn't even need to dive. He just hits the one shot to Lukemino.
Crucial kill to find there. And without your Ilari, are you really going to push the pace onto this one? Kronik takes another peek, looking for more opportunities. And with the Hanzo on the attack, right, yes, a little bit more damage into Infekted's Winston, but much harder to find these instant opening kills. See if Rupal can get more done with the Nano here. Expect this to come onto Zeruhh or Coluge. Rupal steps up, maybe gonna look for it now. Shot does miss. Winston into the backline. Kronik instantly dives away, but here comes Zeruhh waiting in the backline, finds that instant burst. The Widow has been dealt with. Now they look for more, but here comes the counter Nano. Much later, better timing on Infekted, who's close on that primal. Tree on just absolute sliver of HP. Vega finishes him off with the Wave, and Infekted comes back to clean up here.
The attack quite low there, yeah.
Yeah, some potential. It does force the primal out, which is a nice little consolation prize. The sleep beautifully paid there by Rupal. It's gonna slow
Kronik.
Infekted's roll, but Kronik again, he's back into this one, finds a kill onto the Ana. The pulse there onto Infekted. It's just UV to try and heal Infekted back up into this one. Zeruhh has to run for the hills. Both teams on extremely low resources. This one has turned into an absolute brawl. Winston sleeping all over the place. Seems like the attackers have found the better end of this one. Retake with just that tidal blast, but is it going to be enough? Kronik, once again, a kill here would be game-changing, but instead it's just Sugarfree bursting down Coluge with the help of some of his teammates. Zeruhh finds one, but Kronik drops him soon after, and now Team Liberty on the retreat. But Lukemino still has something to say about this. Surely it's too much to do. Wait, the double supports are playing together on this one, but the Winston is just too healthy. You just don't have the damage.
Yeah, Liberty are going to hold on this defense once more. A minute remaining for Team Freedom here as Lukemino swaps back onto the Illari. After that, Lucio attempt there. But I mean, Kronik is just coming up clutch on this Widowmaker so far. It's so scary if you're a tree here. Just peek out. You don't feel like you have any room whatsoever.
Whoa.
Finds a pick
What
up
a
to Vega,
crack
though.
shot. Yeah, through the new geometry there. That's a nice kill. Creates another opportunity here for the attackers to get this one rolling, but is it enough? Diving forward, I think Sleep, no connection there. Coluge zoning some players into the backline. Team Liberty giving up a bit of space and time, getting the spawners back in, but Kronik does it again when the team needs him most. Tidal Blast can't quite get there. The verticality not there for the Tracer. So Coluge and Tree have to brawl this one out on the point. Lukemino finding 2 in this one. And finally, Team Freedom going to get it over the line on first point. But man, this was a brutal one, showcasing how difficult Gibraltar first point can be.
1-0. Coluge makes his presence felt in the match chat on that Winston as they push forward here onto the second point here. And this is where, you know, we see a lot of these big changes take effect onto this map. You can see Coluge already dropping quite low, able to play on this left-hand side. So Lukemino with a nice shot onto Sugarfree.
Tree get the body shot too.
To take the high ground here, yeah.
Simultaneous connections. Break from Vega. Is it going to be enough? Winston jumping up. He doesn't know that. I mean, in fairness, it's a weird new geometry. Hard to jump over. Doesn't make it into the backline just quite. Ultraviolet and Vega fight it together. So powerful. Primal into the backline is slept. So Rupal, crucial skill shot there to save Lukemino's life. Kronik with the infra side is going to put some more pressure on the attackers, but Tree dropping Sugarfree gives him a little bit of room to work with. Knows where those threats are coming from, keeps the pressure on from elsewhere. The nano boost on the Winston, but it's not enough. Beautiful boot by Lukemino to keep the pressure off him Infekted. The sleep is good to slow him down, and the burst is better. Rupal and Tree combined to make that kill happen, and a well-executed push here from Team Freedom gets them back into this one. Illari, Captive Sun, over the top, needs to connect on the back line. The Sonic is going to be supporting. This connection is good enough on Ana. Trying to slip through this high ground. Sleep missed there, and Tree finishes the job.
And that's going to be man advantage for Team Freedom as both Winstons return to the fight here. And now the nano on Team Freedom to kind of hold these aggressive angles, making it difficult for Liberty to get any space whatsoever. There goes Sugarfree, getting a touch in, but it's not going to be a contest from Liberty whatsoever. Tree gets another pick onto Vega. And there is Freedom putting on a really good attack there. I mean, such a decisive play from Lukemino on that Illari to go for that Captive Sun. Neither team has a tank player in the mix. As you hit that onto the back line, you get a pick, and that's enough, secures you the high ground there that enables you to push forward and win out on this point.
Big damage into this one from Lukemino, man. 4,600 damage done so far. Really getting a lot of value in the Illari, kind of neutralizing some of this passive defender advantage.
What a nade.
Finds another kill, yeah, with the assist of the nade onto Vega. Brig goes down, but it does cost Zeruhh his life. He has to go in way too deep to survive that one. Coluge with the Primal, zoning away spawners. Cart continuing to roll through this. I like this position with the Primal. I mean, it's not nothing fancy, right? Nothing flashy, but it gets the job done, keeps the cart rolling. Now has to fall back off the play. This spawn's such a powerful defensive hold spot. Kronik is going to go over to the Sojourn. Feels like he needs a little bit more power in the front line, and I can't blame him. Tree is just continuously raining down these arrows. Nano boost available. Tree, another connection, this time onto Kronik. Vega, pop the rally, trying to stay alive. Beautiful boop. He's going to keep him alive for now. Great rotation from UV. Nano now onto the Brig, trying to turn things around onto the Winston. And Coluge is in a world of hurt here.
Yeah, Liberty are going to turn this thing around actually, and Infekted now showcasing why he's so good on this Winston. And why he deserves this spot on the Team USA roster, making plays there with the Primal Rage. And just when Tree got another pick onto the Hanzo there, and it looked good for Team Freedom actually. To maybe continue that momentum with the nano boost, Liberty, they make a stand here on the third point as well. And now it gets difficult for Freedom. You kind of have to summon another Hanzo pick here to try and round this corner. Lukemino has the Captive Sun online once more. See if he can make a bit of a play with it. Goes over the rooftops here, looking for something. Do think he hit the Sojourn, but not going to be a lot of follow-up there, actually, as Kronik goes down.
Pulse Bomb comes in, nade as well, but the Dragon providing covering fire here for Coluge. It's enough to kill Vega in the staircase tree. Continuing on his reign of terror to this one. Infekted, the only player left alive on the defense, has to somehow touch the point, but just doesn't have the HP to do it. Team Freedom with the full cap on Gibraltar.
Yeah, really impressive that they were able to get that payload across the finish line there. And really everybody helping out on that one. You know, Coluge, he made it work. You know, we meme on the Coluge Winston. He made it work with the support of the rest of his team there. But put enough pressure onto the enemy backline to make space for Tree to find those picks on the Hanzo in the first place, right? And Lukemino as well popping off on that Illari. And another member that needs to have a good showing here in the trials is Lukemino. And I think he did so there on the Illari as well. So the fact that you're able to full hold your opponents, then actually getting the payload across the finish line on the third point as well. I think that was a really good showing for Team Freedom.
Yeah, man, I said it before, but I just feel bad for the coaches, man. There's so many players having big standout moments here. This one is going to be brutal to try and narrow this one down. Luckily, we've got more days of tryouts and one more map to be played. I know it's 3-1, but we're still going to play the 5th map. We're still going to see, who ends up coming out on top. More data for the coaches, and I believe the next 2 days of tryouts are the 18th and the 19th of March. So stay tuned for more if this is the first time you've seen here on the USA tryouts. But they need that time, man, because how the hell are you going to pick with the performances these players are putting out today?
Yeah, 100%. You just want as much footage as possible. And, Kasaurus will just be in the lab, just like, what the hell am I doing here? Because it's going to be some pretty pivotal choices. So, yeah, and again, like, you want to try all these different compositions. So I have no doubt we're going to see some Domina being played. Jetpack Cat hasn't come out so far, but, like, you need to see these players on these heroes just to see what they can do, right? Because I think that's also like another good sign. If one of these players has really picked up one of these new heroes and like really practice it, like that shows this player is really motivated. They're putting in a lot of effort to try and specialize in a new hero like this early. And Jetpack Cat, I'd say Jetpack Cat more than Domina, has a lot of complexities that like you need to figure out, right? I'm not even gonna try to say that one, Jake. But yes, Jetpack Cat has a lot of complexity, and so if you're the best Jetpack Cat in the server, I think that's a huge boon come selection time.
Yeah, I think honestly some of these new heroes though, like especially Jetpack Cat, it's like for me it's way more about your team than the individual, because that's a character that just completely reshapes the game single-handedly, and like your whole team has to understand you're just playing a different game when you pick Jetpack Cat, and you have to understand how to win that
chess.
game.
You're moving pieces around. You're playing chess.
Yeah, exactly. You know, your teammates are pawns, and you are the hand of destiny. So, it's interesting though, because I mean, all the new heroes have been available. I mean, Emmer's been banned, I think, one map, and he's kind of the one character of these new roster who's really seen significant playtime. Tree, arguably playing some non-standard picks, right, with the Hanzo, with the Emmer, and making them look good. So, when it comes to flexibility from the hit scan perspective, I feel like Tree has shown a little bit more in that regard, but gotta hand it to Kronik. The Sojourn and the Widow, I mean, dollars to donuts. These are heroes that you will be seeing in the Overwatch World Cup come playoff time, right? Come those high pressure moments. You have to give some credit to just being a beast on the classics.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, because, if you're making bets, most likely we're going to see Sojourn being in the meta quite a bit. And so you want, the best Sojourn player possible, right? And so, flexibility is really crucial, but, we know that Tree is like probably the best, Western Hanzo player there is. And so, yeah, you put some stock into that, but it's also like Kronik. If Kronik's popping off on the Sojourn, I think that's a really good case for like why you should be the hit scan player of Team USA, right? And so flexibility is nice, but like you said, there are some heroes in the game that are just going to see more playtime. Like if you're the best Kiriko player, if you're the best Sojourn player, if you're the best Diva player, like yeah, that is going to factor in more than if you're the best Ball player or the best Sigma player, right?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see, how they think about the tank lineup as well, right? In terms of, who do you prioritize hero pool wise? Diva's very good right now, but that's likely going to change, right? Like Diva's kind of on top of the world right now. I can't imagine that lasts all the way through to the Overwatch World Cup finals, which if you are Team USA, you do have the luxury, right, of really just, that's all you really care about, right? You can realistically think the qualifiers are free. Like for a team this good, there should be a shoe-in to be in that top spots in BlizzCon. And so you really can just think about what's going to be the end of the year. However, to think that far ahead, there's just so much uncertainty. Like anything, we could be talking, it's the Jetpack Cat meta, man, which is terrifying, but also exciting.
Are you kidding me? I would love a Jetpack Cat meta, like at least for one stage. Just give us like a third of the season to just see Jetpack Cat. You know, there's tons of fun plays that could happen there as well. But like, I really think it's, you know, I think we've seen as people get used to Jetpack Cat, like it's a pretty vulnerable hero. You know, like, and they're nerfing the resources as well, and so you know, you have less kind of like mobility on the hero, and then you know you're pretty limited when it comes to your health pool as well. And so you have to be really smart about your positioning and how you commit these resources to, you know, pick up and drop players around the map, right? And so I think there's going to be a lot of complexity for Jetpack Cat. There's going to be really interesting if we do see a meta like that sometime. Obviously, pretty strong already, arguably with the claws perk. You're able to make some plays on that hero already. Definitely see some frustration in ranked. And so I don't know. I don't know how much Jetpack Cat we'll see actually. I think the odds we'll see a full-blown everyone picks Jetpack Cat meta. I don't think that is going to happen.
That would be devious, Johnny. We don't.
Yeah,
I don't know that we. I'm gonna say I don't want that. I'm just gonna come out against a hardcore one-trick Jetpack Cat meta. I think that would be
desperate, man.
That would be a little
suspect.
suspect. That would be just a little bit suspect. I think I'd settle for. I'd love it to see, like, you know, the meme flying high noon. I will say there's probably what if there's like Cassidy's meta, and when you have high noon, you just go Jetpack Cat and attempt the crazy, you know, insane fly over the map, kill everyone play.
Yeah, I feel like that might be a bit projected though. It's just like, why did they go Jetpack Cat when we know
like,
Cassidy has ult?
It could be anything.
Where is he? Where is he? It's high noon. So I do think that for the World Cup, you can pick 7 players, I believe. So not the usual 6. And so with 7, you know, that does give you the opportunity to flex a little bit. You know, maybe when it comes to the tank, if you wanted to pick a couple of tanks, you definitely can do that. But then also, like, do you want 3 damage players? Do you want 3 support players? Like, there's some optionality here. You know, historically, I feel like, yeah, we see 1 main tank, 1 off tank, and then we see, you know, 1 main support and 2 flex support players. Kind of like round out the squad. So then you have everything, right? But I think it's going to be really interesting here for the Team USA roster. Like, what 7 would you kind of settle on? And I don't want to make any predictions because I'm just here to enjoy the scrims and commentate the action. So you're not getting any preds from me. I'm not going to say who I mean,
it would be just honestly meaningless, right? Like, it's this is truly too close to call. And there's yet more days of tryouts, right? This is day 1. This is players getting used to each other. These players, like, all probably know each other, but how much have they really gotten the chance to play together? How have they really started to think about the meta and the way their hero strengths are? Tree, though, continuing to favor the Emery on this one. Looks like we're going to see more high-paced diva action here. The Lucio Kiri iconic classic. And Zeruhh going over to the Vendetta to match Sugarfree's Tracer. See who gets more out of this one on the DPS line in particular.
Yeah, there's going to be an opportunity for Zeruhh here to have a bit of a standout performance on the Vendetta here. So he looks for these aggressive plays onto the Lucio. Gotta reckon it's the best target here for anything, but already Coluge dropping quite low. Lost all his armor, and this is going to force him back. But Tree finds a pick that equalizes the field here.
Wow, just stays out that 1 second longer, takes the risk, and finds the kill onto Lucio. Big connection. It's gonna get them right back into the fight, into this contest. Zeruhh not out of this one yet, but Ultraviolet without a second support has to be so cautious right now. Cannot afford to go down. Team Freedom wise, I think, gonna back off, wait for the Lucio. Neither team wanting to give the other the big advantage to open up Runasapi. Tree finding another angle, taking that peek, but now they're, I think, a little bit more respectful of the damage threat he can bring.
Yeah, this is a perfect range for Emery as well. Very hard to get on top of, and the damage output is so strong here. So yes, Vendetta comes in here. Hawk drops the mech actually on this dive. And now, at this point, this is when Tree just shines, right? You're just able to free farm here onto the Emery, just beam these targets, and Team Freedom with no diva have a tough time going here. So they actually tried to go for a bit of a play here, but they can't secure the pick. Both teams staying alive here impressively.
Yeah, both divas out, right? So it's just up to the DPS and supports to play. It's kind of a miracle that nobody goes down into this one. Little bit of pushback here for Team Liberty. So Sugarfree using his mobility advantage on the Tracer to get just a bit of capture progress, but it comes down to the fight, which now we're stretching into minute 2 of. See if that rush is going to be enough. UV finds it first. Landon still 20% away. Lukemino, though, with the earlier beat to respond, and they end up escaping the rush. So both teams, man, dancing on the edge of a knife here, Johnny.
Yeah, it's a great disengage, actually, that allows them to now build up the Kitsune Rush of their own. Obviously, you have the sound barrier up already, but, you know, you want to play this advantage now. Take your time for Landon to build this up, and then that's go time. That being said, Team Freedom, they can disengage them on its wall. Override comes through from tree here as he looks for a couple of picks. Sound barriers gets traded here, but Team Freedom, nice disengage still here. No one's dropped yet. Coluge gets the first pick.
Yeah, and with Kronik dropping Zeruhh also taking a lot of pressure up in the sky, has to just fall back and reset. Team Liberty going to be happy to steal the bot away and start pushing it into enemy territory. Team Freedom need to reset and re-engage this tree. Going to call for the pause, though. And this is just absolutely down to the wire.
Yeah, 100%. And like both teams, I think you're doing a really good job of just disengaging with these compositions as well. Fully recognizing what play is going to come out from the enemy team and how do we react to that. And, you know, when you play these Lucio Kiriko compositions that are very mobile, that's what it's all about, right? And so I think both teams doing a good job so far. Not surprised, though, to see Team Liberty come out of this one, considering they had double support ultimate at their disposal. But this is another opportunity for Kronik to step up on the Sojourn once more, like he's done all scrim long with this overclock, and perhaps make a play for his team.
See if it's going to be enough. Zeruhh has been great here on the Vendetta, putting a ton of pressure onto Coluge. See if he's able to come in over the top. Holding the ult, now pops it. Looking to zone players away. It's hard to play into this one. No joy on the ult, though. Good rotations from Team Liberty to stay alive. Flipping the map now. Taking the defender position. Big crit, though, onto Sugarfree. Gonna slow his roll as well. Coluge on the fallback in the box, stolen away. So Team Freedom bullying the opposition back, taking control. This is such a high-level play, play here on Runasapi. Both teams really dancing with the sides of the map, just focusing on staying alive. No team wipes yet so far in the match. Big connection from Sugarfree, but I believe Suzu'd by UV to stay alive and keep this one going.
Yeah, and Ultraviolet is going to be close to this Kitsune Rush, going to get it earlier than Landon because of the situation we saw in the prior fight. So now Team Freedom, they would just want to remain here, keep the bot contested and build this up, and they're in a perfect spot here.
Feels good from Ultraviolet. He's gonna rip the rush here. Landon does not have one in response. Zeruhh finds tree. The power of this rush very real with Vendetta taking in that backline kill. And Coluge just trying to stall this one out, trying to stay alive a little bit longer, but feels so difficult. Coluge is gonna pop the self-destruct, trying to zone players away, but Zeruhh just disrespects it, takes down the Baby Diva, and goes for more. Finds Sugarfree. This is the 4th in the fight for Zeruhh. And the Vendetta, one of our newest additions to Overwatch, not in the latest batch, but still I think a character that has potentially really shifted the game in a way that we haven't seen so much of in the OWCS.
Yeah, and being able to play the Vendetta at a really high level is going to come in useful this year as checkpoint is made for Team Freedom here. Both teams now with the sound barrier available, but no doubt Zeruh's gonna try to make a play on this Vendetta once more. Tree as well, coming up on this override protocol, could be quite useful here, going up into the skies.
Here it comes. Can he bring the damage? Vega, instant response with the beat. UV does not have it, but he doesn't care. Still fighting this one out. Brawling on the point. Both beats exchange. No kills found on either side. Tree, the heals are good from Landon. The rush comes in. Now advantage for Team Liberty. Hawk goes down during the self-destruct. Tree and Coluge, though, finding their dual kills. Although it costs Coluge the suit. Should be enough for Team Liberty to retake control of this map, but not a decisive enough fight win to really flip the advantage here. Coluge still out of the suit. Really needs this pistol damage.
Yeah, it gets actually quite expensive for Liberty as they use both the override and, of course, the Kitsune Rush there as well. So Team Freedom with the lead, and now another pick onto Landon as well. They're looking comfortably in control so far on this Esperanza. Or not Esperanza. Runasapi.
On Runasapi. Yeah, I mean, big mistake, honestly. Like, with Coluge in the D-suit there, you've got to be cautious. You got to be respectful of the fact that you really are not at full strength, far from it. And Coluge dying on the 99 to his remake is another painful one. So Team Freedom really gonna sink their claws into this map. Kronik and Zeruhh looking for more, and Kronik with a relatively uncontested overclock here. No proper counter ult for this. Opportunity for Sojourn to take the lobby over. He's been relatively quiet so far this map. It's been Zeruhh as the superstar, but this time Kronik already finds his man. Coluge instantly bursted down by the Vendetta with the assistance of Hawk. Sugarfree, the pulse bomb is gonna stifle the overclock, prevent any more blood, and finds another onto Vega. So the Tracer getting rather a lot done into this fight, but starting to run out of gas is Sugarfree. He's gonna have to yield yet more cart time, but his kills in this fight prevent the worst case scenario.
Yeah, it's going to enable Team Liberty here actually to get back and contest the bot relatively quickly. But again, on push maps like this, you know, it's so brutal when you got the lead and these frags are coming in from Team Freedom, right? Like they're really not letting the pedal off the gas, right? And so Liberty, they need to find some kind of momentum here. They're just being dropped like flies. Need to regroup and get a proper team fight going once more. Look at the ultimates, Jake. This is quite brutal here actually for Team Liberty, as Freedom are going to have a buttload of ultimates going into this next one.
The Vendetta is getting so much value on this map. Sugarfree has like the best fight of the map so far, and he's just equalizing what Vendetta can do. Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power, Johnny, as the rush available for Ultraviolet. He's gonna rip it, continuing to push the pace onto Team Liberty. We have to fall back. We have to respect this ultimate. And Zeruhh into the backline, onto the Lucio, 99 beat. Lukemino shut down, finds another onto the tree. 2 ultimates not coming into this fight. Team Freedom have to expend heavily to get this one done, but they're gonna get so deep into the spawn, even if you don't finish here. Such a tall order now for Team Liberty to come back on Runasapi.
Yeah, they have the sound barrier, so they gotta start one fight at a time here. And this should be a relatively easy one compared to the trials that await them for the rest of this map. But you can see Team Freedom already trying to make plays here, trying to find picks as Hawk. Loses quite a bit of armor, has to self-destruct here to keep himself alive. Landon finds a pick onto Vega, and that allows you to hold on to this sound barrier, which at least is a good start here, Jake.
Yeah, see if it's enough. Yeah, and without Vega, I think you're going to be able to win this one without expending ults, which you really need now for Team Liberty, right? You have this bank of ultimates, but you need to get so much mileage out of it. 1 or 2 fight wins is not going to be enough. You need to win, I'd say, about 3 to 4 back-to-back. But they're doing well for now. Hawk just trying to escape, should be able to get back to his team off the forward spawn. And Team Freedom now, huge advantage on the map, but how are they going to play strategically given this edge? Team Liberty trying to just continue to push the pace, catch up mistakes, force an error from Team Freedom, but they don't give him anything. It's going to be an honest fight here on the corner.
And this is a perfect time for, you know, any of the Team Freedom damage players to put a lot of pressure onto Lukemino here. Try to get this sound barrier out early. As the Kitchen Rush comes out.
They're into the skybox. Big threat from the Vendetta. Stifles some of the aggression, but now they continue to pour it on. The rush still available. Team Freedom playing slow into this one. Hawk needs a ton of heals, just barely stays alive in the soup, but can't quite keep it up. Kronik pops the OC, but with the beat from Lukemino, it's going to be unlikely, yet it's enough to take down Sugarfree. And the 1 kill might just be all they needed to get back in control here. Checkpoint is gone, so Team Liberty, they are going to have access to the forward spawns. But the 5v4 and only the self-destruct, I think Coluge, yeah, thinks better of this one, has to just fall back. Team Freedom, they don't want to let him out of this one so easily, but they're not going to be able to find any retreating kills. So Team Liberty got a long way to go in this map, and Team Freedom want to end things here and now with only 40 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, and arguably, one of the players has to step up here. Tree pops the override on the armor. Can he find a pick? Under so much pressure here, Jake.
Hawk is absolutely up in his face, just denying him any opportunity to play the game. Hawk just continuing to hunt down this backline. I think both supports reacting to that move from the D.Va, so massive space created. Pulse Bomb goes wide from Sugarfree. Ultraviolet cleans that one up. So a positive trade here for Team Freedom. 15 seconds on the clock. Team Liberty, one last chance to regroup, and Hawk still hunting, still looking for more. Zeruhh on the chase down as well, knows that this could very well be it. Team Liberty with just the self-destruct to work with. How are they going to deal with Vega's beat? He's going to go with it. Here's Zeruhh deep into the backline, has that beat online. Chasing forward, Lukemino is down. The rail connection good from Kronik. In the moment of peak pressure, Coluge dropped out of the suit, has to pop the self-destruct just to keep this one going, but no chance to stay alive, no chance to continue this one. Runasapi going to Team Freedom.
Yeah, dominant performance throughout this push map. As Zeruhh had a great performance on the Vendetta, and they looked like they were in complete control. Controlling all these angles, making things really difficult for Sugarfree on that Tracer. And again, just playing the ultimate game. Really smart, I felt like. So, perfect Runasapi showing there for Team Freedom.
I gotta give a lot of credit
so far. I know they've been swapping players, but 4-1.
I mean, all right, the teams are kind of a troll because the players are swapping 24/7. Like, but you know what? We cheer. We cheer for Team Freedom. I gotta cheer for Zeruhh in that last map though. I feel like that was a real shining map for him. Sugarfree had like a couple of good fights on the Tracer, some nice moments here and there, but the Vendetta felt like the way stronger pick on that map. The way Zeruhh was able to execute, so powerful on like the beat turns, on the rush turns. I mean, those dives forward were just incredibly oppressive from the Vendetta, and it felt like Hawk was on the same page, right? Like also deep in the backline on the D.Va, and the way this meta looks with how strong D.Va is, man, that level of aggression seems to really pay off.
Yeah. And again, I think Vendetta is a really good hero to have a good showing on, right? Because it's a new hero to the roster, even though it was added back in, early December, November, kind of, right? And so the fact that, you put in practice on this hero and now you're showing up to the US trials and you're showing like, hey, I put in the work on this hero and I'm comfortable enough to bring it out here against, a Tracer player like Sugarfree and make plays happen. I think that's a really good kind of strength for Zeruhh to have into these trials. Because who knows? Yeah, Vendetta, really strong already. Is Vendetta going to be strong in 6 months? We don't know that. But if Vendetta is really strong in 6 months, it pays dividends to have a really good Vendetta player. And so being able to perform on Runasapi like that, I think that's a really good strength for Zeruhh to show.
I think Vendetta is going to change the game pretty significantly, the competitive level. I think the character has actually a deceptively high skill ceiling and is incredibly powerful in a coordinated environment, right? When she's a great resource user, not every character can take a sound barrier and actually get a ton of value out of it. I think characters like Genji come to mind in that category of the ability to actually use that huge stack of HP and force kills out of it, like get incredibly deep to the backline and deliver the damage. Not many characters, I think, really fall in that category. So for the DPS lineup, I think you're absolutely right. It's a crucial showing to have. And as good as Sugarfree is on the Tracer, he struggled when he came out on the Genji. I mean, that was just one map, but I mean, Zeruhh maybe vying to be the better flex option where, yes, Tracer is very good, but as time goes on in Overwatch, it feels like flex DPS really has become a truly flexible role where you need to play a lot of characters at the highest level.
Right. I mean, at the start of the scrim, we praised Sugarfree for being able to bring out the Symmetra, right?
Yeah, that's another big one.
Yeah, because you could just play comfort and be like, oh, I'm gonna play Tracer throughout this whole scrim, but instead he said, I'm gonna play the Symmetra because Symmetra is a really strong hero, changes the way the entire game is played, and if I'm the best Symmetra player in the trials, that's going to help my case to earn my spot on the team, right? And so I think all of these players, they're showcasing different picks and different comforts, and that is going to make it even more difficult for the coaches to figure out who is going to get this playtime. As we head into our last map of the day, this 2-hour block, it's going to be Nepal for our 6th map of the day.
Nepal, another iconic classic map. Can't help but feel that, the Symmetras, maybe some Flyers, some Mays could come out. I mean, this is a control map that I think does get a little bit wild. That being said, it's a D.Va meta, so I wouldn't be completely shocked if it's more or less just Lucio Kiri, run it back. Yeah,
I mean, with the state of the meta, very likely. Scosaurus comes in, swapping Lenny and Zeruhh. So again, a bit of a change in the way these rosters are constructed, because obviously you want to find out who's playing well with each other, what's the best setup of players. Just find out about the synergy. The voice comms are so crucial. Like, who is being decisive, in the comms in situations like this? Who is a natural leader?
It's a great
who do
point.
people listen to?
I mean, I think that matters more, honestly, than the level of play, because every single player in this tryout is good enough to play at the highest level. They already do, right? They're all playing the OWCS. They all run some of the best teams in the world. And so there's a lot to be said about how important that team chemistry is, which is something that you never really get that full picture of, but I think it's a very good thing to highlight, because even though getting this window into the tryouts is really awesome to see as a fan, right? To just have more great Overwatch to watch and to get excited now for the Overwatch World Cup coming later this year. But of course, like you said, so much happens behind the scenes. It's about that team morale. It's about the calls, the communication. Huge factor in Overwatch, especially at the highest level.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if they're recording like the voice comms of the maps themselves, so they can go back and listen to what's going on. I mean, that previous Runasapi, I know the map has started here, but the previous Runasapi was a great example of the teams like trading the support ultimates, right? And that could be a great study to be like, hey, what team really communicated well about the fight plans and such, right? So let's head into Nepal here. Zeruhh's back onto the Vendetta here as Sugarfree is showcasing the Symmetra we talked about.
Yeah, absolutely beaming down Painkiller under a ton of pressure. Has lost the D.Va armor. That gives now Team Freedom some space to step up onto the point. Potentially getting first control. Here comes Zeruhh, though, straight into the back line. Can he bring enough attention onto himself? The heals are good from Landon to keep him sustained, but he has to fall back. The pressure from Sim, very real on this Vendetta, who's struggled to now get into the mix on this map. Landon gonna double down, recommitting with the dive, but Sugarfree, well defended by Vega and Rupal, is just cooking.
Just lights out his Kronik. Team Freedom making their case known here. And I mean, hey, Symmetra, Beam against Diva. Easy equation. Works out pretty well here. So definitely another good reason to be able to play this hero at such a high level. And Tree is going to stick on this Emre.
Oh.
Yeah.
Little
Okay.
cleanup kill from Hawk there. Slows down Zeruhh. That's going to be not too bad, but that's another full spawn wave, right? So that's quite a bit of time off the clock here for Team Freedom. It's going to maybe complicate some of the ultimate economy picture.
Do you like Tree sticking to the Emre here instead of busting out the Soldier instead?
Honestly, I can't even say. I mean, with the buff to Emre, I think there's something to be said about this character. The threat it provides from a pure damage perspective. I don't love it, though, into the Symmetra. I feel like Disruptor Shot could be a lot more value, potentially. Zoning away things like TPs. The slide could be particularly high value, helping you get in or out against the Symmetra. And the slow play also giving a lot of space for Kronik to work, and he finds Lukemino already. Hawk, a little bit low on the HP, but it's healed up, rather, by Rupal and Vega. And this has been all Team Freedom, man. Rupal and Vega together, just a brick wall behind Sugarfree, and they're getting dominated by Sim. As good as the Vendetta looked on the last map, it's just gotten nothing in this one.
Yeah, 100%. Team Freedom just holds strong on these angles, making it really difficult for Liberty to walk up here and get any space whatsoever. Got ultimates on the board here. It's going to be a fiesta of all kinds of ultimates being dropped here.
Great Matrix there from Hawk, eating a lot of the heals, slowing down this aggression. A better beat now out of Vega. Rupal with the rush as well. Tree up into the skybox, but Kronik hunts him down with the help of Hawk. Kronik up on this high ground now. Great position. TP deployed should he need it. This one is over before it even began. Team Freedom, an absolute blitzkrieg, rather, on round one. Destroying Team Liberty. We need to go back to the drawing board on this comp.
Yeah, that's a tough showing, to say the least. I think that was the most dominant kind of round we've seen so far throughout this screen. Yeah,
easily. I mean, that was not even. It's like 3 fights back to back to back. That late kill on
0 limbs. Like, not a ton to say about that one.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You go. GG. Go next. That's all you gotta say. GG.
No. Lock in, Johnny. That was last round. Move on.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. GG.
Wake up.
Next round. GG. Go next round.
Okay.
Mental reset.
GR, Johnny. GR.
Beginner's mind.
Beginner's mind. I like that. I like where your head's at here. We're getting you on Team USA maybe next year.
What?
Bring out the Rhine.
We got the Rhine?
I'll have you as a sub, you know? An honorary. You got your green card. We could probably put you on the team.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I just saw a Reddit headline. Was Lep announced for Team Argentina today? You know.
Okay. I think it'll be interesting to see some of those players subbing in. I think that could make some of the countries that have a lot of strong players, but not enough to field a full top roster to actually have a chance in the competition, which should be a lot of fun to see. Team Liberty doubling down, though.
Dual citizenship for Argentina, so it makes sense to play with Argentina, actually. But there we go.
Cool. Oh, okay. A burst goes in, and the connection is good enough to take down Sugarfree. It does cost Zeruhh his life. Team Liberty happy to take a bit of control. See if Kronik can get it done. The solo DPS now left on the map. Tree has a bit of space to work with on the Emre. Painkiller trying to put some pressure on the point, but Vega more than willing to take this brawl with the help of Hawk. Still Tree rather has a ton of space now on the Emre, can just pour down damage onto the Diva on the point. This is, I think, a big test for the hero. It should get a good amount of value with this kind of space to work with. Just blinking away, but Painkiller does drop first. Hawk finds his back, dropping the Diva, and that should likely give first control. But Lukemino finds Sugarfree a second time with the help of Zeruhh, diving in the backline. So Sugarfree had a little bit too much fun last round, getting denied, but Kronik with 2 keeps them going into this one. Some hero kills.
Can't count them out. You can't count Kronik out. And I think Hawk as well is doing a great job on this Diva, as my dog is absolutely losing its mind. Kronik does go down, actually. And so this is going to be, like, I think Hawk is really showing on the Diva here, like, playing the limits, playing the armor, being able to survive in these fights and just buying time for your kind of teammates, as well as we see the Kitsune Rush being dropped here. Some damage from afar from Tree, but it would be very hard to capitalize on this and secure the kills quick.
It is zoning a lot of these backliners away. They can't really come up and support Hawk, who, despite the Kitsune Rush, is actually dropping on the point. So good zoning value from Tree. Now Landon swings out, takes the peek, super low HP, Mega's not available. How's he gonna play the situation? Vega with the sound barrier online, Rush comes out on the point, but it's too late to save Painkiller, who's out of the suit. Tree finding Rupal, keeps them in this. Kronik, is he gonna commit the OC? Keep this fight going. Team Liberty with point control. Would be risky to double down now into the rush. So Team Freedom gonna lick their wounds and look back in on the retake. But that kill onto Painkiller is exactly what you needed to get you into the door.
Yeah, and now Kronik can swing without this Diva in his face. And they're just going to be able to secure this point. Doesn't even need the overclock to begin with here. So Zeruh's going to go for a bit of a contest here, but should be dealt with quite easily here.
Oh, maybe
Now
Hawk
Team Freedom
overplaying his
back in
hand.
control.
Think he could get that kill easily. The block keeps him alive. The supports come in, and Hawk overextending into that one. He's going to throw the point away, more or less. Landon and Lukemino finding the kills. A good bait from Zeruhh. Draws out the overextension, and Team Freedom having a much harder go of it in round 2.
Yeah, and just when I praised Hawk for playing his limits here, gets caught, like you said. Now going into this next fight, though, Liberty have the opportunity to play quite aggressive here with the Vendetta and the Sound Barrier in hand if they want to, and here it comes.
Oh my, deep into the spawn here, coming for the door. Sugarfree pops that wall, making it scary. Simwall blocks the value from Vendetta, but he can still get in, fighting in the wall, disrespecting it, does not care about those sim shields. Rupal barely with the melee can stop that reign of terror, but it doesn't prevent the full team wipe. Great beat aggression from Lukemino and Zeruhh. And Sugarfree says, I'm done with this. I'm going to the Vendetta. All right, let's see what he can do in the duel.
Yeah, well, it's a great map for these close corridors. Able to go in and try to get some of these crits going here. Rupal's going to get close to this Kitsune Rush. Try to secure some space here, potentially. His team pushes forward here on the back of Sugarfree's Vendetta play now. Kronik pops the overclock.
See if it's enough. Kronik, everyone just hiding from him, respecting the threat of this OC. Even Tree now popping the override protocol, but doesn't want to take that duel. Rupal rushing, but full disrespect from Painkiller, who dives in. Disruptor shot defensively, but it's not enough to dissuade Zeruhh, who just keeps on coming. Painkiller now hunting down the Lucio, and Team Liberty, 86%, want to just get a quick retake and get right back into Nepal, evening the score 1-1. Team Freedom, Rupal and Hawk looking to reset, but Zeruhh will not let them. Takes down both. And that should be the round now. Team Freedom, no ults to speak of, full desperation. Zeruhh brawling on the point. Vega goes for the boop off and gets styled on. Desperation touches coming in here from Team Freedom, but that'll be Team Liberty. Well played to bring back round 2. That was a brawl, but they get it done.
Yeah, it's gotta feel good as well to showcase that, you know, you're really good when it comes to playing a composition like this on a bit more of a very different map layout. Here on Sanctum. So they're tying things up indeed here, and now it's going to be interesting to see going into Village here. If we're going to see the Vendetta duel from the get-go. If Sugarfree has just accepted that this is the hero pick to be played here. Obviously, we'll see teleporters come out early, but later on, maybe swap over to the Vendetta. Take a look at the stats here. I mean, Kronik 14-4. You know, continues to look really good throughout this scrim.
Big game from Zeruhh in particular, right? That, I mean, round 1 was brutal. Like, they got nothing, and this round he completely flips the script, right?
Yeah, it's a big impact hero playing the Vendetta for sure, and this is another opportunity now as Sugarfree going to stick onto this Symmetra, but Zeruhh already in there trying to put pressure, forced to withdraw. Actually, it's going to enable Freedom to get some space here and set up Kronik on the Sojourn.
Yeah, Zeruhh with the aggression goes in once again, forces the slide back. Some defensive movement from Team Freedom, yielding a bit of space. Team Liberty are healthy. Are they going to continue to push the pace? For now, thinking better of it, but it's getting a lot of space for Tree to cook from the high ground. Big damage pouring in, and Team Freedom just resetting, playing off the Sim TP. They're going to come right back into the point, put some pressure on the cap, but so much opportunity for Zeruhh to work with. At the same time, he's dropping low, needs the Suzu and the Matrix to stay alive, but the team support is there. Tree now on an angle, finds an opportunity to start pressuring that damage. Point in control here for Team Liberty. Zeruhh back healthy into the fight once again. Sugarfree has that perk playing off the teleporter. Very tanky on the Symmetra, hard to deal with. And Zeruhh tries to dastardly dive onto point and gets absolutely cracked down. Sugarfree with the turrets, just too hard to brawl into.
Yeah, Sugarfree did a ton of damage onto Painkiller. And that's what forced Zeruh's movement there to try and go for a bit of a play there because the D.Va didn't have enough health. So Hawk and Sugarfree doing a great job there, securing the space for their own team. Now, double support ultimate available for Team Freedom as Tree goes for a bit of an off angle here. Trying to poke in prod. Give his team some kind of space here, but Painkiller drops low again. Suzu is forced early.
Yeah, beat comes out from Vega on the defense. Is it enough to... It's enough to stall them for a second, but Tree just continuing to pump damage with the override protocol. Just a little bit behind that roof. Falls back away from the team, and Hawk strikes aggressively there, punishing the Kiriko. Desperation beat from Lukemino. They're going to go for it despite the player disadvantage. Rupal pops the rush. Kronik, Sugarfree low. Zeruhh finds one. Can he get the next? Kronik completely out of this fight. Zeruhh still chases him down, and now Team Liberty strike back. The desperation beat turns good. and the rush on the point is not going to be enough, it would seem. Self-destruct deployed from Hawk, still committing, doubling down on this fight, but there's too much damage coming in. The baby cannot resuit. Beautiful catches from Zeruhh, 4 in this fight.
I mean, they're just investing in Zeruhh, believing in him to be able to make the play on the Vendetta with the sound barrier, and comes true. Doing great work for his team here. And again, we talked about the case for Zeruhh, being able to play this Vendetta at such a high level, and it's really showing it here. As they still have this Kitsune Rush at hand now. This is going to be a big boon as the TP comes through from Freedom here, tries to start contesting the point, but Landon should be able to turn this fight around.
Symbol on point is powerful, hard to fight into this, even with the rush. Kronik looking for opportunities, playing around that wall, takes a wide swing, but not finding any targets. Beautiful read from Team Liberty. Seeing the vectors coming, here comes the ultimate from Vendetta. Doesn't find any connections, just still diving on top of the TP. Looks like a split fight now. Edges of the map, but it seems like Team Liberty getting the better of it. 3-for-1 trade so far. Rupal and Hawk fighting together, but with the TP deployed, it's just Hawk running for the hills, trying to get a reset and hold on to his mech. Team Liberty want to punish this, but I don't think they're going to be able to. Just further delaying the retake. Kronik goes over to the Emery, says, all right, this is maybe a little bit too powerful on this map. The slides not getting that same value, with this map being a little bit more focused on the verticality.
Yeah, so Override comes in from Tree here, looking for an early pick already. Hawk puts pressure on him, but Hawk probably is going to lose his mech here, actually. Trying to make the play. Grabs the Mega.
Oh,
it's
he's
actually
out
going to be enough to get out, actually. Unbelievable play from Hawk. They're getting that Mega and protecting his team with the Matrix to begin with. Great limits being displayed by the Diva player.
Vega takes a big hit, getting low. Now here comes the dive. Sugarfree getting healed up. Beat available. Rush is going to come first, though, for Team Freedom. Team Liberty have to play this one a little bit slow. They're going to give the flip. They need to stay alive into this one, but Tree cannot quite make the escape. Sugarfree stepping up on the Symmetra. Zeruhh looking for the trades, but looks to be denied on this one. So Team Freedom, still something to say as we come to the final moments of Nepal. Vega holding on to that beat, crucial resource to have in the final round.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go aggressive with it as well, knowing full well that they have the advantage with this one. Make it difficult for Liberty to touch this point. You can see them holding close, ready to drop this sound barrier. It's Liberty forced to cross this doorway now. Someone's got to get to the point, but the push comes through from Freedom, and they get the pick onto Lukemino.
Huge tempo forward there. Lukemino 95 to the beat. Great read from Team Freedom on the support tracking. And with both supports dropping, this should be Team Freedom. Painkiller with the self-destruct could make this one possible, but without Zeruhh, surely it's too much. Back into the suit, he does get the point flip. Tree still fighting into this one. It's not quite over just yet. Lukemino a 99 to the beat. Needs to get value off this, playing in the corners. Painkiller can make the touch. He gets that beat as well, so there's still a fight to be had. Rupal, low on the Kiriko, has to stay alive late into this one. And we're going deep into the overtime. Landon finds his opposite number of the Kiriko. Hawk, desperation now, has to use this self-destruct for value. Kronik finds Landon. The healing resources dropping incredibly low. Hawk finding Tree is a massive one, though, and playing with the self-destruct. They think they can kill him, and he's happy to die. Happy to lose the suit in this spot. Not happy, though, to die after the suit drops. Zeruhh, that counter kill keeps this one doable. Kronik, though, with the override protocol, too difficult to contest into. Lukemino daring some peeks here. Has to dodge these heavy shots. Overtime Wick burning fast. Needs to be able to win this 1v1, but it's just too difficult. Ember whips out the pistol, cleans up one, looks for a second. The rush keeps players alive, but Kronik is just pouring in the damage from the off angle. Hawk back on the Doomfist, and Team Freedom secure the map here in overtime. Truly hard-fought battle, though.
Wow. And what a map to close things out in this 2-hour scrim block. GG's dropped in chat between both teams and Kazores there, of course. And that's what we really wanted to see. I mean, both teams really going back and forth into the very final moments there, trying to make plays for either team. And I think a lot of individuals stood out throughout this 2-hour block here, Jake. You know, we talked about how competitive this field is, but, you know, closing out the way Zeruhh did there on the Vendetta, I think it was a great showing from him to try to cement his case, but also Kronik looking stellar throughout this scrim.
Yeah, I mean, you really you have a tough time, right? Especially on the DPS line, right? Like Zeruhh insane on the Vendetta, but Sugarfree on the Symmetra, right? It's not going to be as flashy. It's not going to have these exciting moments, but gets the job done on a couple maps, right? And serves up some very dominant wins. And when you're a coach, right, you got to give a lot of credit to the things that get the win, that get the job done, more so than the flashiness or the exciting nature of the plays. A coach, you care about wins. You care about meddling here in the Overwatch World Cup. So the DPS line is going to be brutal. Kronik insane play on like the core hit scans, but Tree with the flexibility to make the Emery and the Hanzo look like top tier DPS picks. Maybe they are. tank line, I don't even want to get into that, man. Like, there's so many sick tank plays today, and it's a little bit warped, I think, for the tanks right now, with D.Va being so incredibly dominant. Like, we really didn't, I mean, we saw a little bit of Ramatra, like one game of Zarya on a point there. But for the most part, this was D.Va top to bottom. So you got to look at players like Hawk and Coluge and feel pretty good about their performance today.
Yeah, 100%. And I think as these scrims kind of unfold here as well, that we're going to see some of these tank players flicks over to other picks. Like, we didn't see any Domina today. We saw a little bit of Sigma. We saw a little bit of Winston. But like you said, like, Ramatra has been another really pivotal hero, you know, throughout Overwatch 2. So there's definitely going to be scrim blocks in our next stream here, you know, that we're going to see some Ramatra being played for sure. And so, yeah, there was a lot of D.Va today. There was a lot of Lucio Kiriko. I think that's the nature of this being the meta right now. But like we talked about throughout, Jake, like, this is a scrim after all. This is where you try things out, see what kind of like voice comms work out between the players, what leadership is displayed, what flexibility is being showed, right? And so this is not just about who's the best D.Va player or best Lucio Kiriko right now. This is about who's going to be the best player across the whole year in all these long tournaments, because it's not only one World Cup event now. You know, it takes place across the entire year, right? And so you really need to bulletproof your meta more than ever.
Yeah, and you need that longevity to go through a calendar of competition and maybe be able to have highs and lows, right? To have results that aren't exactly what you're hoping for and to be able to recover from those. Also want to show some love to the supports. There's a couple moments in these scrims today where I just could tell like it was Vega's influence on the match, right? Like, they're knowing exactly, because they have a great read of the ultimate economy. They're able to make a play that looks improbable on its face, but because they have that very tight timing, like catching Lukemino in that final fight at the very beginning of it on 95 to beat, it's like, if you have the wrong call there, if you think Lukemino doesn't have beat, but in fact he actually has it and it's ready to go, you could really die for going aggressive there. You could be brutally punished for that. But because they have the right read, he's only able to come in much later into the fight, and it's not able to have the same impact as it would have had at a full 5-on-5. So great understanding also on Sugarfree, that rally play from Vega. So great looks on the main support there. Flex supports, man, everybody had huge games today. Like, it's brutal. I mean, people have been talking about how you got to give Vega or Rupal a lot of credit for having synergy with Vega, and there's something to be said for that, because I don't know how the hell else you're going to pick between the level of play from UV, from Landon, from Rupal. It's just so many sick support plays. And I mean, even Lukemino, right, showing up on the Illari, which I didn't really have on my bingo card, but another factor you've got to consider is that deeper flexibility with the 7-man roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about, like, you can see the players leaving their mark, I think Landon on Juno, on Sugarfree was that for me. Just
like unkillable, right, at times, just like dancing away at the perfect moment.
Right, but even like we talk about Landon's strengths, and, you know, stories are coming out about how he's coaching his players about communication and like what to say and like guiding, you know, leadership, what we talked about, you know, who is the leader on the team when it comes to like doing comms, right? And I think the Sugarfree, when Landon played at Juno, was probably a map where he was like, hey, we're more of a brawly kind of composition. This is how we're going to use the Juno speed to get us to the point, and, you know, make a really solid defense, right? So you gave credit to Vega, you know, played a really good brig there as well. I want to give credit to Landon as well, because I think his Juno was really influential there, right? So yeah, I mean, good luck with this one. Landon had a 4K Batiste play.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
It was one play, display the mechanics, but, you know, you want the big moments to stand out in trials.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch today. It's great to see these players clash, but it's going to be so brutal trying to like make the final cut and decide who makes the team, man. The level of play in Overwatch these days, it's just gotten so incredibly high, right? The players are all elite, right? All in the world, and so much experience across the board. Like, there's pretty much no one, I think, that is a shoo-in right now. Like, it is so competitive right now, and I think for a lot of the fans, maybe getting their first glimpse here at a trial environment, I'm probably going to be pretty interested to see what continues to go on. Remember, I believe it's the 18th and 19th of March. We have 2 more days of trials going to be casted. You'll see them on the same channels you're watching now. So definitely be sure to tune in and follow along as we... Not with us. Yeah, we got other casters.
We're rotating casters as well.
Yeah, true. True. So I just want to show some love and make sure people keep tuning in. And I know I'll be excited to follow Team USA. I mean, obviously close to my heart personally. You know, being an alumnus. So maybe we didn't do so good in my year though. Maybe they'll do better this year.
What, 2017?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
We did okay.
You
We
have
did
that
okay.
incredible soldier play on Horizon Lunar Ecology that is in every
true.
highlight reel. It's just you free shooting on the high ground, and it's just like, Jake,
It's so funny looking back at like the old days of Overwatch, because like, man, we were all so bad. Like compared to now, like the level has gotten so much higher than it was back then. Realistically, like I'm like, you know, like what was it insane play back then? And in fairness, they've had like fundamental changes to the accuracy and like the shooting system in the game. Right, it's just easier to hit shots than it was back in the day, but nonetheless, right, the level of coordination even on display and in a tryout like this, it's just another level. Like the pace of the game has just accelerated over time, and it's great to watch some of the best players in the world just show their stuff here in this environment.
Yeah, 100%. It's so like, I feel like the scene is so fleshed out now. Like these are definitively the best players in the world. Because back in my day, I mean, we were the plumbers. You know, we showed up and we became pros for like a year or two, and then we were quickly replaced by the actual like Overwatch talent, right? And so, you know, these are like these guys have been in the scene for so long now. It feels crazy, you know, like the amount of time that. Coluge, Ultraviolet, these guys have been sticking around for so long. Hawk, they've been playing this game for ages now because they are definitively like, the best players that we have in the scene, right? And so, great to see them still, get things going here in 2026 and compete for spots on the national team going into the World Cup. I think we're going to a bit of a break here, are we, Jake?
Yeah, we're gonna go to a quick break. But yeah,
we'll
stick with us. We've got some opportunities for folks in the community that may be interested in getting involved here in Overwatch, Team USA rather, Overwatch World Cup prep. So stay tuned with us. We're gonna chat with our social lead when we come back for some housekeeping. But thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you guys in just a minute. All right, everybody, we are back, and we're joined on voice here by Jag, the social lead for Team USA Overwatch. Jag, tell us a little bit about what you're doing, what you're involved with on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, great to be here. Thank you so much for an amazing broadcast. My responsibility, kind of like the creative director of the team. Overall, I see a bunch of stuff in terms of like production, social media, graphic design, kind of oversee all the different volunteers that we have. I'm helping establish a brand voice, direction of kind of the branding, look and feel, and yeah, just kind of overseeing everything that is USA for 2026 at Overwatch World Cup.
Yeah. So curious, like what goes into like all the prep, of course, because like now the viewers are watching the stream and they're like, hey, you know, there's scrims going on, but like there's so much more behind the scenes that goes on. Obviously, organizing a broadcast like this is no small feat either. You know, it takes a ton of resources and you know, amazing help from so many people. But you know, you also got a community going on, you know, Discord, and there's the social stuff. Like, just talk a bit about, you know, what goes into like forming like a community around this team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of what we're trying to do is kind of revitalize a lot of things that haven't been touched in a few years. This Twitch channel hadn't been used since 2018. The Discord server hadn't been used since 2019. So kind of, first of all, reaching out to previous committees, getting in touch with them, getting those logins, revitalizing by like, you know, adding new emotes, you know, adding new community objectives. But like you said, it's a village that puts this together. You know, we have a whole production team. We have so many people that are either producing or doing the observing. We have a graphic design team that's putting together all the assets, like the stuff that you're seeing on the broadcast. We have a social team who's doing live coverage of it. We have a content team that created that really awesome introduction, that opening teaser we had highlighting the history of USA at the Overwatch World Cup. So really, we're just trying to bring all that together and put out a great experience for the fans. Really let them know, hey, we're here for a vengeance. You know, we really want to win this year, but also we want to just make it a really fun experience for everyone involved.
I mean, it sounds like you have such a huge team, like tons of people helping out. Are there still opportunities for people who, you know, maybe they're watching at home on Twitch, maybe they have some relevant skills, maybe they're just a student and they kind of want to like learn and get their foot in the door in some esports opportunities? Are there any opportunities to kind of join up and work with Team USA Overwatch still available?
Absolutely, there are, especially on our social media team. We're looking for people in kind of evergreen / game day coverage, short form editing for TikTok, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, as well as community management for our Discord. That application is on our X right now. It is closing tonight, so be sure to get your application in before the end of the day. We will be looking over those tomorrow and making decisions next week. So really hoping to bring in even more people to this incredible team.
Yeah. And that X, by the way, what's that tag for folks who may not know it, maybe just watching on Twitch?
Yes, it is x.com/USAOWWC.
Easy. All right, Jag. Well, thanks so much for coming in. I'm excited to see, you know, what new folks in the community come in and join. It's great to know that there's this huge team behind the scenes putting on these events, right? It's not just the players, not just the coaches that maybe some fans are more familiar with. This is a really a full stack community endeavor from top to bottom. So it's cool to kind of peek behind the curtain and see a little bit more about that, especially for the fans.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of passion, a lot of effort, and a lot of love. So then, thank you so much for you guys also being here tonight, doing this cast of us, and to everyone behind the scenes. Really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the co-streamers who've been showing out on Twitch, showing love and watching these tryouts. I'm sure it's been a lot of fun for the community. Remember, we got more events coming March 18th, March 19th. So tune back in. More opportunities to see these top players play and to see who comes out as that final roster to represent the United States at the Overwatch World Cup. That's all from us for now. Johnny, any final thoughts before we send it?
You know, it's just a great thing to be part of, you know, the Team USA trials here as a Swedish person. Like, I really just feel like I got a green card in my wallet. Like,
you should show this at like the citizenship application.
Yes, 100%. I mean, that is what I did it. You know, like, you know, we volunteer, we show up. I show up to the office, and I'm like, hey, you know, can I get my citizenship now? That's what it's all about, baby. So yeah, Team USA, let's go. The times you don't play Sweden, let's go.
Okay, fair enough.
USA.
Well,
USA.
I'll take that. Yep, you got it, Johnny. You're a pro already. All right, guys. Thanks so much to the community. Thanks so much to the prod team behind the scenes for running the whole show. Seriously, it takes a village. You can take a look at some of our broadcast crew. We got Luau, ObsSojourn, and Jag. I'm producing. Observers, ObsKachow, Miblizzard. Great observing, by the way, today. Like, very on point. I want to give some love there. Of course, myself, Reinforce on the cast, and our game director, Hippy.
It's been a pleasure, guys. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. Tune in March 18th, March 19th.
All right.